Ooh, ooh, ooh. How do you like it? How do you like it? Ooh, ooh, ooh. How do you like it? How do you like it? Oh, need to open that in a new one. When the sun comes down, and the land is dark, and the moon is the only light we'll see. Oops, wrong one. I just want to go live and get things started. Sorry, I just was doing some troubleshooting. I didn't expect to take as much time as I did. I have been having some issues outputting my video to my second monitor, and it's looking more and more like my. It's looking more and more like my. Hello, welcome, John.
How's it going?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. I'm so honored to have you here.
Well, thanks. Pleasure to be here.
I am. Does anybody hear the background noise of my air conditioner going on full bore?
I hear a little bit. It doesn't sound too bad.
Okay. Because if I need to, I could turn it off. Let me see something here. I was just telling the chat that I've been having some technical issues as of late. Yeah, even people who've been in computers for 17 years have computers.
Right, yeah.
Except the thing that makes it different is far more embarrassing. But I thought it was going to be something as simple as, using compressed air and blowing out the interior of the desktop tower. And because when you got dust buildup all over the place, then it causes the weirdest video issues. Sometimes it even prevents your system from booting, but my system does boot. I think it's a combination of things. It could be the HDMI cable on my second monitor. I think part of it is the fact that I'm pushing my desktop tower to its limits because I've got a. I'm not sure how familiar you are with Macs, but I have a Mac Pro tower.
I'm not very familiar with computers, period.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of blown out with a lot of upgrades, but at the same time, it was manufactured in mid 2010. So I'm running a 10-year-old computer, and I've got the very latest operating system I can that's supported on this model. So after this operating system, I'm like toast until I shell the money out for a new system. But I don't know, I guess modus operandi is to make my systems last 10 to 15 years minimum.
Yeah, good luck with that. I couldn't do that. No way. I feel like I'm buying a new computer, every year and a half.
Yeah, I consider myself a dual platform. I've been working on Windows and Mac OS for years. And do you remember the old X286 PC?
No, I don't.
Okay. All right.
Let me stop you before you even finish it. No, I don't. I don't remember this stuff.
Oh man, that's true. You did warn me ahead of time.
Yeah.
Good call. Let me see here. Now
Hello, people in chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, all chat. Thank you all for. Whoops. Uh-oh. Did I do it right? Oh, all right. Oh, come on now. Wrong one. Oh no, I'm boomerang it. What the frick? All right.
Happens to the best of us.
Uh, the other tab, man. I don't want to do an Inception stream. Or do I?
Yeah, Cecil does them all the time.
I know. There was this one that he did that kind of drove me nuts after a while. He even took the time to change it to a different outfit each time. And then he made another sub window, changed into another shirt, and that was the birth of I think the green Cecil. Oh man. Welcome to WyzGyz Entertainment. This is your host Wyman. Sorry for the delay due to technical issues. We are finally live. Welcome, Fate Salvation. Fate says, first on the right. Take that, Prago. It's the joy of being the first to chat in a stream. Justin McClure says, hola. Welcome, Justin. Fade Salvation. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Fade, for updating everyone. Let's see here. Da-da-da. J Money. Welcome, Captain Fuckhead. Frago. Welcome, Frago. As always an honor to have you on the stream. Yep, did get it started finally. Good deal. Thanks for the confirmation that we are good to go and that you can hear me. Huzzah. All right. So welcome to our very, very special guest, John Malin. I was wondering if you wouldn't mind going into a little background and how you got into comics and what your comics creds are.
Credentials, I've done work for Marvel, Image, and Rob Liefeld through Arcade Comics and ComicsGate. What got me into comics, I've always been a fan of Saturday morning cartoons. One day, my older brother went and shoplifted a whole bunch of comic books. And long story short, yeah, it got me hooked. So I wanted to get into comics since I was about 14 and eventually got into Image Central as a production assistant around 2002, 2003, something like that. And from my time out there in California, that's when I met Rob Liefeld, and he put me to work. And then eventually I moved back to Michigan, got work at Marvel, and a few years later, I guess flash forward in ComicsGate.
And
That's it.
that's a lot in a nutshell.
Yeah.
So you got hooked into comics and early cartoons when you were young. When you were drawing, were you basically copying what you saw on TV and in comic books?
Sure. Yeah, like at first it was cartoons. So, I think I had drawn Wolverine before I even really knew who Wolverine was. But yeah, I mean, like I remember Short Circuit was out, and I remember drawing like this really big Johnny Five on like really big drawing paper, and yeah, and then when I started getting into comics, I actually redrew John Romita Jr. cover for Iron Man. It said, "In space, no one can hear you die," and that got hung up at my school for a while.
Oh my gosh, how cool is that?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I didn't learn by like tracing so much as like transferring and trying to commit things, memorizing. Like I'd look at like a Jim Lee or a Rob Liefeld or something like that for a prolonged period of time and just really trying to break it all down in my head. Close the book and then give it a go and then open it back up and start seeing what I got right, what I got wrong. I'm not sure it's a good way to go about it. If I was being instructed, I would have been a lot more about trying to, build up the drawing from like the circles and the segmenting like the head, doing all the little proportional things would have probably been a lot better for me in the long run.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually quite amazing because it seems kind of ingenious to me. When I started drawing, I was very an 80s kid, so I was big into G.I. Joe, Transformers,
Mm-hmm.
Thundercats. I don't know if you heard of Star Blazers or Robotech Macross.
Well, Robotech, Macross, yeah, I've heard of them. Yeah, I'm not huge on like the early anime that was going on. I mean, I watched Akira. Everyone's watched Akira. But yeah, I never got into like the robot. I love that they were like transforming jets. Like that always looked really cool. So
yeah, that was a big thing for me too.
Mm-hmm.
The transforming jets, and I don't know, you might be interested in checking out So as far as I'm familiar with the Macross saga, there are like three generations, if you will, three different timelines. One of them is the one with the transforming jets, but you've also got this other one that I think was the successor, the one that came after it, which is where you had humanoids who rode motorcycles, beefed up armored motorcycles, and then the motorcycles transformed into armor for these soldiers. So that was pretty trippy.
Yeah.
Let's see, Rooster. I think I missed some. All right. Welcome, Stencil Artist Yan. Hi, Fade. Let's see here. I'm a very small channel, but I seem to get a lot of people from CG UK.
Nice.
And let's see here. Oops, that's me. Rooster Roy Reviews. Coach Malin.
Hello.
Billnet says, hail. All right. Awesome. Yeah, definitely spread the word that we are live. Yeah, I was intrigued by the fact that you would break down the images, the artwork of people you admire, and break it down to the basic shapes and such.
Mm-hmm.
Close the cover and then try and replicate it.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have even thought to do that. I'm one of those who's more. I never got into doing the tracing thing either. Instead, I was like what is it? A mimic. Well, I mean, I would always have in front of me the source material, and then I would try and transfer it to a piece of paper, and in many cases enlarge the image so it was bigger and would fit into, like, a single image would fit into an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper.
Yeah. No, I tell people, I really don't care how anyone gets there, as long as they get there and that the execution is pulled off. If you trace or do whatever you want to do, that, more power to people. So, over the years, I've definitely done some tracing. Even on Graveyard Shift, I had to draw a Statue of Liberty, and I was like, well, I can sit here and work it out, or I can just grab a cool picture and trace it. So I just traced it, but I embellished it. You know what I mean? It's not like you don't look at it and you're like, oh, that's a traced image, because it still has my rendering style and, spot black and, all the little things that kind of turn something into something that I would draw. So it's all in the execution. If it looks like it was traced and it doesn't fit in your world, then you're probably doing it wrong. But for buildings or whatever, things that don't really matter, I don't mind doing a little trace here and there.
DJ Fox says, hello, Malin. Hello, all.
Hello.
Christopher John. Coach, chat. WyzGyz, hey. Right on. Did you, when you were younger, take a bunch of art classes?
No. I mean, other than like, the standard kind of in school, elementary school and middle school kind of type things. But no, I was never in any kind of specific thing. I went to a life drawing course with Ryan Stegman one time, and it was terrible. It wasn't even a nude, like the nude model was a dude. It wasn't even a chick. Yeah. And I was like lined up with his dong. So I was like, okay. Ryan likes to do that stuff, I guess. I had my fill in one time.
Oh man. Yeah, I remember I was asking because, when I took early art classes, it was one of my favorite subjects because it was almost like not doing work and hardly any homework. Yeah, but one of the, I don't know if it's really a trick per se, but they would almost always assign you this project where you take a cell from a comic strip, for example, like Garfield, and then you draw a grid on it, and then you draw a grid on an empty sheet of paper, and transfer each piece of the grid to form your complete image.
Yeah, I did that in my garage about 8 or 9 years ago with a giant Autobot symbol.
Oh my gosh, how cool is that?
Yeah. I just had a big white wall, and I was like, man, I want to paint something. Like, I'm not a painter. I don't think I've ever tried to paint anything in my life, but I'm like, it's only a couple of colors. So yeah, I gave it a go. Now it's like a floating Autobot symbol inside of outer space. I got a couple planets there, and
oh man,
it turned out okay for a first time thing.
Do you ever share it on Twitter? The image?
I think I probably have sometime like way back when. Not recently though.
Okay, all right.
Maybe I'll go snap a photo of it one day and throw it back up there.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I imagine now you probably got pallets and pallets full of graveyard shift.
Yeah,
in your garage.
Well, yeah, I have empty pallets now. I have a couple that still have some books on it, but a lot of them have been moved into my home and or shipped out at this point. So we're hoping to get a large part of the initial volume 2 shipping wrapped this week, and then we'll be moving into the Huerta campaign later this week or early next week. So we're trucking along, and then we can launch this volume 3 as soon as the last package ships.
Nice.
So yeah,
nice.
That's my commitment, because I don't want anyone that backed volume 2 to be like, dude, look, why are you launching volume 3 before you fulfill volume 2? So yeah. I've committed that I will have the last package shipped before this thing goes live. So
that's a good way to do it. I have a very short story in regards to, Raging Golden Eagle has his book, and wait, no, I'm thinking of a different one, aren't I?
Blade Devil.
Oh yeah, well that was Blade Devil. I don't know why I keep. I guess because they're both kind of in the anime genre. Battle Maiden Knuckle Bomb Kyung Lee, I think. I backed issue 1 a while back, to where I don't remember exactly when, and then I go in one day, come across, while browsing through Indiegogo, realize that issue 2 came out, or it's got a campaign now, and so I knew I liked the artwork, and I knew I liked the style of this artist, and it sounded like a cool and fun project. So I went ahead and backed issue 2, even though I hadn't received number 1, and I made like a snarky comment in the comments section, which I kind of regret now, saying even though I haven't received issue 1 yet, I'm going to back this anyway because it looks really good. And then I head off to work, and on my way I pass by my mailbox, and come to find out a Battle Maiden Knuckle Bomb was right there.
Yeah. No, man, Kyung, I feel like Kyung's going to be like the stealth winner out of all of us, because he's got really good quality. He knows everything. So like when I have a question, I go to him. I'm like, Young, help me out with this. Tell me what this is. I'm retarded. So Kyung is like a secret weapon for probably a lot of us, actually. But yeah, I mean, he's going to be working on his second book here. They're all quality, and what I believe he does is he launches the first campaign, and those are like premier editions, and then later down the road he'll launch a second campaign with a premier being like higher cover stock, higher interior paper stock, just all around better quality of a book. And then he'll launch a second campaign, which will be a little less quality on the book, but it'll be a cheaper product. So he just keeps rolling the way he's rolling. He's going to have a lot of strong material, and that's what I kind of urge people to consider too. Is like, it's building up that kind of back catalog is really where it's at, because once it's drawn, you'll be able to offer it again and again and again. All you have to do is pay for the printing, or if you print a large volume, you can always just keep putting out that large, parts of that large volume. But that's what's going to make everybody's campaigns bigger and better. When you're on year 3, year 4, you're just going to be able to keep offering that older stuff in other tiers, and it's always going to be able to bring other people along.
True. Let's see here. Wyatt Holiday, welcome. Hey, Coach. Hey, WyzGyz.
Hey, Wyatt. Hey, I got just yesterday I opened up a package from Wyatt. It was Ardana. Thank you very much, Wyatt. It looked really great, man.
Oh, sweet. You got Ardana. Oh, man. Mm-hmm. I think with all the projects, man, I'd have to double check it. I think I missed the boat, as it were, on Ardana. But I think there's another one coming up that I can back. Charlie's London official. Hey, WyzGyz. Hey, Coach. We know you like your horror movies and crime history. If you could draw the story of any serial killer, who would it be?
Me. It would be. Yeah. No. I don't know. The Albert Fish one is probably really the most disturbing to me. So it would probably be Albert Fish. But I mean, we've kind of turned him into a bit of a meme for the Jack show. So we laugh at it, but I mean, the guy is really fucking pure evil. So but yeah, I guess if I was going to tell a story about a serial killer, I'd probably go for the evilest one, and that's probably Albert Fish. Evil beyond evil.
How did Albert Fish become the Jack Show mascot?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, just like everything, someone, either I think it was either Kelsey or Cecil had just off the cuff mentioned something about Albert Fish, and then we all started looking into it, and it just became a thing. It's so disturbing. Just like everything else on the Jack Show, if it's gross or odd or whatever, we kind of, But I mean that's part of like human nature, is you find these really dark things and you try to laugh them off, but you want to laugh at death and things like that and try to, I don't know, take away its power, I guess. But yeah, he's fucking creepy. I mean, but I mean they're all creepy. I mean, BTK. I mean, the dude, breaking in and tying chicks up and raping them and killing them, and I don't know if he did anything post-mortem, but yeah, it's just crazy. But then the guy was like a perfectly normal dude. And that's what they all seem to be, is perfectly normal dudes in the daylight.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Are you the type who watches a lot of those crime dramas or those TV series where they highlight all the craziest killer women out there who do all these grotesque things to kill people they marry?
I don't gravitate towards that stuff, actually, but my wife does. So she loves all the murder mysteries, and here's some shit that happened. Like I can like on an entertainment level, I can enjoy them once in a while, only in like blow your mind how sadistic some people can be, the mentally ill can be. So, but I don't normally go into stuff like that,
Out of curiosity, do you know if she watches Criminal Minds?
Yeah.
That
she watches like that and CSI, Blue Bloods, and
Oh, I like Blue Bloods. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched some of that. It's actually pretty good. So.
Yeah.
Adam Wahlberg can act. Who knew?
Oh yeah, yeah. I like that. Him and shoot. I'm blanking out again.
Hmm.
What the frick is
But
that?
movie wise, you know, I'll watch just about anything, and I'll get into horror. Like sometimes I'll be on a horror kick. Like my dad, it was whenever we spend time together, you know, it'd be like middle of the day. He'd be like, "Hey, see if there's a good scary movie on." Okay,
You
so
don't even need the ambiance of nighttime with the
no,
lights out.
just whenever. Hey, I mean, you know, I think it's like because like with a scary movie, you should be getting something from it. You know, like creep and emotion should be coming out of you, and it's got to be intense to be good. So, you know, I think that might have something to do with it.
Right, for sure. Yeah, the thing about Criminal Minds that I found fascinating is all the different types of ways there are to murder someone,
Mm-hmm.
and also how to cover it up. And it kind of makes you wonder, the more you watch programs like that, how much of it is actually based on what the murder actually did versus how much might have been concocted or
Yeah.
emphasized by the show's creators, and how messed up might the creators themselves be to even be able to think of that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you have to be messed up. I mean, you have to read a lot and study a lot and
That's
have an interest in the topic for sure. But yeah, I mean, like CSI, like that's the hardest show for me to watch is CSI, and it's not because of dead bodies or anything like that. It's just that I can't get past the the nonsense of it all. That you would have these, you know, forensics people out there in the field running around with guns and chasing after people. It's like they're dealing with their own evidence. They're testing like the bias. I don't think it would hold up in any court. What these people are doing and the scientific, you know, aspect of forensics is destroyed when you're the investigating officer. I mean, you could be tampering your own evidence at any point in time or skewing it because you're looking for a certain result.
right, right.
Everyone they arrest, I'm just like, dude, just get a good lawyer. You'll probably get off.
uh,
It's nonsense. That show is nonsense. I mean, you know, anytime it's like, there's another one too. Who's it got? Like LL Cool J and the little midget lady from Dune. And
oh,
then it's like superhero kind of. We're in a warehouse, but look at all this sci-fi, and it's like, what the fuck is going on? Just
uh,
give me Batman. That's all I need.
isn't that all the CSI spin-offs? They have a CSI Vegas, CSI. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, it's a hit. It's a hit, but the logic of it, I can't get past that because it just annoys the shit out of me. But my wife loves it. My mother-in-law loves it.
uh,
She loves that redheaded dude when he takes off his glasses. That's like her thing.
oh man. Jay Bomba fan says, Echo! Excuse me. Red Valkyrie says, hey guys, just stopped in to say hi. Hey Shay, appreciate you. Jake, oh, come on. Sorry. My Siri on my iPhone tried to activate. Jay Bomba fan says, hail. Mike
JJ
McMahon.
Mama.
Hey Red Valkyrie. Da-da-da-da.
Mike McMahon, he has a project coming out. Actually, if you guys backed Graveyard Shift Volume 2, we had I don't remember what it was, like $170,000 stretch goal. And if we hit that point, we were adding in a copy of a completely different book called U.S. Assassin. Mike McMahon, that's Mike McMahon's book. So everyone that backed Graveyard Shift, you're getting a copy of his book. And I think they're going to launch a campaign for that in Volume 2 sometime this year. So
nice. So where the Assassins one would be the main book being sold, and then a tier would include Graveyard Shift too.
Everyone that got Graveyard Shift Volume 2, regardless of the tier, gets a copy of U.S. Assassin.
All right, right on. Excuse me. And let's see.
For free, guys, for free.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
What a deal indeed. Thanks for sharing the link to Graveyard Shift 3 early sign up mailing list. Red Velvet.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if you guys get on that, right now there's a exclusive foil trading card. Before I launch, though, I am considering a tier that is going to be on there only for the people on the mailing list. So it's going to be what I believe it's going to be is a discounted tier. And as soon as I finalize on that, you'll be able to get the same tier that's in the campaign, but a lot cheaper. So as soon as I finalize that, I'll have more details for you guys. So I really have to crunch the numbers and before I announce it. So
that's pretty sweet. Red Valkyrie says, I've got to run, but hugs to you, WyzGyz, and hey to John. Have a great show, guys.
Hello.
Thanks
yeah,
so
have a good
much.
day.
Thanks so very much. Let's see. Okay, then more promotion. Hey, John, did you get some ideas from X-Men on this?
On what?
Graveyard Shift 3, I imagine.
No. It's more monsters. It's X-Men in that, like, we have like jets and technology and stuff like that. But the high concept is, what if the universal monsters were the X-Men? So it's superhero geared, but it's really a lot more inspired from horror and things like that. But all of Graveyard Shift, it's all homage stuff as well. So, you guys will see characters that are going to be reminiscent of other characters. It's all meant to kind of be on that little bit of nostalgia, insider kind of type feel stuff. So we wear it all on our sleeve. It's not like we're like the ship that the Graveyard Shift fly around in. Their main fortress is called Castle Dracula, but it's highly inspired by the space station from DS9. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it takes about 2 seconds to realize that. So.
Oh my gosh, what a trip!
Yeah.
Wait, does that make you a Star Trek fan then?
Oddly enough, I've never gotten into DS9, but I love the ship. Yeah, no, I'm like, that's like on Jack Show. That's what we do, is we do like Star Trek trivia and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I'm definitely a larger fan of the Next Generation than anything else. So.
Oh, gotcha. All right. Oddly enough, I was like more a fan of OG Star Trek with Kirk and Spock and Voyager. But I do really like
Voyager was pretty good. Yeah.
I like and respect Next Generation too, because it increased the fan base significantly. And although Deep Space Nine was interesting at times, I felt like it was since everything was focused on all the cast being on the space station and everyone having to visit them. There was very little space exploration per se. It was more like everyone visiting an embassy. And I almost got the feeling like I was what's that condition where you feel like you're closed in, you've got too big a crowd of people. Yeah, I got that feeling whenever I watched.
Yeah, well, I can see what you're saying. I've gotten, I think, all of 2 episodes into DS9 in my life, and but no, I totally can see what you're saying, because I mean, that's the fun thing about Star Trek is it's different locations. Every episode, almost every episode.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Mike McMahon says, check out Outsider in HBO.
Yeah, I did. I've watched, I think, I don't know if it's a whole season at this point, but I was watching that, and it's okay. I watched, it's kind of like It, I mean, it's still Stephen King, so it's like It.
Oh, all right.
But if you took out all the cool things about It.
I've seen it, but I've never seen Outsider. Is it an ongoing series or is it?
Yeah, it's an ongoing series. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
It's not exactly like It, but it's pretty close to It. But that's what I would like to see. I would like to see It as a long form TV series on, like a stream.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, everything except for the kid sex,
Yeah.
which was disturbing.
Oh man. Welcome, Indino, Caligula, Palacio. Science is lies. Hey, Kami Mark. Hail, WyzGyz. Welcome, Kami Mark. A lot of hellos. Hail chats. Hail the mods. Hail spam. I'm not big enough yet to get spam, so I guess that'll be a momentous occasion when I start getting porn spam, and I might have to do a celebration stream to commemorate it. Let's see here. Hey, Mike McMahon says $170 goal, and we stomped it.
Oh, it was 170,000 is what he's saying.
Oh, okay, all right. I was going.
Yeah, big difference. We stomped that about half a second on that campaign.
I was about to say, it's like Second Chance campaign soon and Volume 2 in the fall.
There you go.
Yeah, we got all kinds of awesome stuff coming up in ComicsGate. Oh, my screen just jumped. I'm trying to draw and watch a Harrison Ford movie. What the fuck is this?
Movie.
This is magic.
I was just watching Raiders of the Lost Ark. Well, that and The Last Crusade.
Oh man,
all within the last month.
Really? Oh man, I gotta rewatch those movies.
Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah. Last Crusade, if I recall, had Sean Connery as his dad.
Yeah, and River Phoenix. I think that was his last role. But I was watching with my wife, Raiders. I'm like, I'm in the part where he goes, "What is it?" I don't remember what country it is, but he meets up with that chick. I'm like, "Honey, here's where he meets up with that chick that he raped as a child and nobody talks about." She's like, "What?" It's implied.
Is she into like pop culture type movies like you are?
No.
All right.
My wife likes cooking shows, CSI,
I know this is a tangent, but I'm the type who likes cooking shows, but I don't necessarily fully learn from them.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy watching other people cook.
Yeah, I think that's about the same for her. I think it just becomes like meditative, type programming stuff. Get your brain off.
Yeah, I don't know if you're familiar from. We have a CG ComicsGate Espanol with Carla Tornielli from the Grim Reaper 2 book. She shared on her streams that she watches this one lady, I think it's an Italian or maybe an Asian, but she watches her stream making breakfast every single morning, and it's more or less the same thing she makes, but she finds it meditative and soothing.
Yeah, it's slow TV. I mean, like over in whatever Norway, Sweden, Switzerland, those areas, like they have I don't know if it's a channel or just a lot of programming where it's like a boat going down a river, and they have cameras on multiple points of the boat. So basically you're just watching the boat go down the river, and occasionally it'll go to a different angle. Or you'll be watching someone chop wood.
Oh yeah.
Like that's slow TV. Or a train ride, through the Alps, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And people tune into that.
I used to go to the public library to pick up, try different DVD movies that I wouldn't necessarily buy. And they had this whole collection of things like train rides around the world. And it was so neat. And when around Christmas they've got the Yule log on TV?
Yeah.
I really dig that, watching a crackling fire.
Yeah, I just hate that every time I try to pull one up, it looks low def.
Yeah.
I'm like, just get a nice high def camera and like do this fireplace up, man. Make it awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see here. Fade Salvation says, nice free comic. Mike McMahon says, thank you, John Malin, for making it happen with Mark Polton.
My pleasure.
And Dina says, a tear? Yeah, cry, Malin.
Not that kind of tear, Andino.
Oh, man. Commie Mark says, this show has never had 29 viewers. Well done, WyzGyz. Keep on building, comrade.
In that case, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell for notifications, everyone.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Thank you. Let's see here. And Dina says, you imagine? New territory for you, huh?
Yeah.
Busting our balls. What the hell? Oh, gosh. Let me see. What's it say here? Okay. I use StreamYards now, and I ended up shelling out money for the whole full complete version.
Yeah.
And so now I'm broadcasting, I think, to definitely to YouTube and now Twitch and supposedly Facebook as well as Periscope. But
awesome.
I got a little message saying that Periscope didn't get my comment. It was probably filtered because it filters anything that looks like spam. Andino says, F Star Trek trivia. To heck with you, Andino. I like Star Trek trivia. And I like it when the show's on Anna's stream and she does Star Wars trivia, because I happen to love both. I love Star Trek, Star Wars. I also like Stargate, but nobody in Jack Show references it.
I like the movie. I never really got into the TV show.
Yeah, it was a slow start for me on Stargate SG-1, the OG. It took a while for me to get into it because it was kind of slow and boring, but then, they made Samantha Carter kick ass, and they added more entertainment with Richard Dean Anderson, who used to play MacGyver.
Yeah, I was a big MacGyver fan as a kid, yeah.
Me too, yeah. And I don't know if you've ever watched the behind-the-scenes clips, but they would often crack jokes on set when filming the series, making MacGyver references. It was pretty funny. J Bomba fan.
Or Living Hell for Richard Dean Anderson.
Oh, yeah, could be.
He's like, God, every time I pull out a fucking spork, someone's got a joke. I really dug back in those days. Like my real show, like the one that I really look forward to was Quantum Leap.
Oh man, I was thinking the very same thing as you were leading up to that. I don't know how, but I was thinking.
I enjoyed that a lot. I actually got permission from my mom. I think it was on like Wednesday nights or something like that. I don't remember, but I was allowed to stay up later than my brothers and sisters just to watch it.
Wasn't it one of those few series that started about 9 o'clock in the evening and ended at 10?
Yeah, probably around that range, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember I would stay up for that too. It was a cool concept.
Yep, good intro. I mean, I love shows that are really good packages from like front to back. And Quantum Leap for me, definitely at that age, was really great. And the Hulk, Incredible Hulk, has one of the best of all time.
Yeah, that was so cool the way they did it, the way they adapted
intro and outro, as a matter of fact. But yeah, the intro is straight horror, and that's what I don't get that when they do these Hulk movies, and they've lost that kind of like, this is a terrible thing, and they just dumb it down to Hulk smash. Like, no, man, like that intro, that's everything of the Hulk for me. Go watch it, guys. It's a trailer for a horror movie is what the intro to the Incredible Hulk is. The music, I mean, it's like Michael Myers music, that whole thing, the eyes, the thunder, the rain, fire. I mean, it's a horror movie in a trailer or in an intro.
It was freaking awesome. That was a well adapted series, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree they should go back to that feel. J Bomba fan says Deep Space Nine is what the wife calls my penis. Oh my. Mayfield Juke says Malin Militia in the house.
Thank you.
Andino Caligula Palacio says that remark, science is lies, was at 2:35. It's 2:43 now. Slow, huh? It's okay. I don't like to read either. Oh my goodness gracious.
That's why I read comic books.
Charlie's London official. Welcome, Charlie's London. Yan says I watched too much Law and Order Special Victims. Yeah, that's another one. Oh man. Slow chat. Well, I've got a small audience right now. Frago says I'm going to start streaming videos of me messaging my butt cheek for people to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Make some money off this sciatica.
Yeah.
People
pay for just about anything.
Oh yeah. Oh man. Expecting my graveyard shift Tuesday. Can't wait.
Oh, okay. I assume that's someone that had the email tracking.
Yeah, thrilling stories.
Yeah, that's fun too, man. Is like people letting me know that they got email notifications. I mean, for me at least, it's telling me that they're working. So, yeah, everyone, if you ordered, check your spam or promo folders over the next 2 weeks, and just make sure that they haven't gone in there. But everyone should get a tracking number over the next 2 weeks.
Right on. Tracking numbers are good. Is do you self-fulfill all your campaigns?
Well, this is the first time I'm doing it right here. Last one Mark did, the writer and co-creator of Graveyard Shift. So I flew out to New Jersey, which is where he lives, last year to do the signing. Then I flew back and let him handle the hell, which is fulfilling. But this time I'm doing it. And so I have everything over here. I'm trying to learn the ins and the outs. I'm using stamps.com if anyone's interested. That's what I'm using. And it's a bit of a pain, like doing these kind of, I'm going to get into some tech details here, but like when you go to Indiegogo, you have the CSV file, I think is what it's called. And you download that, and you should just be able to pretty much re-upload it into stamps.com, where you can look at all your orders, and you should be able to batch export everything. But for whatever reason, I cannot get that thing to work. So what I am able to do is I've been able to get everybody's name, address, email, just some of their basic information uploaded in there, and using it so that when I start filling out the address, it'll autofill. It'll give you the different selections. You can find it, click it. So that's actually worked out pretty good. So I have all my information in Excel. I printed that out, and everything's getting highlighted as a new label is being printed. So that's the process. There's a better way, and I'd like to find that better way so I can do everything in the computer. But otherwise, everything's going pretty good. And as soon as I've hired people to come in and stuff comics into bags and boards and put them in Gemini mailers and tape them and all that stuff. So as soon as I find out what all this is costing me, I am considering doing a fulfillment service for other people. And I think that'll be a big thing specifically for people that are overseas and trying to sell into the States. So basically, you'd be able to send all your books to me, and then I will be able to fill out all your U.S. orders out. So could be
That
cool.
would be awesome. That's a fascinating take on it. A good solution.
Mhm.
And
And
work.
then, I mean, obviously anyone in the States can do it too. So, and I'll be doing international orders if people want that taken care of as well. So that's if I do it. Right now, I have to wait until I'm done so I can add up every last dime spent and find out what the real cost is.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Wow, that's pretty sweet. Excuse me. So it sounds like your fulfillment is similar to Ethan Van Sciver's latest fulfillment. Like he's starting to do a lot of his own stuff, and I think he also uses stamps.com.
I'm not sure what he uses. I think he used a fulfillment service for his main campaign.
Yeah.
But then I think I think he's starting to pick up his own stuff more and more.
Okay.
So he might just be doing his own from here on out. I'm not sure.
Yeah, yeah. I think in part it might be based on like a judgment based on how big the campaign gets.
Mhm.
If it really starts exploding, then maybe you guys will consider, well, uh, using a fulfillment center again, or maybe by then you guys will already have a well established self fulfillment center. That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Besides Graveyard Shift Volume 3, you obviously had Volume 2 and Volume 1. Do you have, I'm not sure, but did you have any other Indiegogo campaigns that you launched?
No. Graveyard Shift. I mean, other than Jawbreakers with Richard C. Myers. So,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
no, but I am going to launch another one this fall. It's going to be for my Project Thunder. That's just a placeholder name. Once all my Graveyard Shift stuff is taken care of, then I'll start getting into details on Project Thunder. But that will be a story that I'm writing and drawing.
Not that.
Eventually, I want it to be able to do 2 campaigns in a year. So I'll be able to do a Graveyard Shift campaign and then my Project Thunder campaign. And provided those are successful, then I'm going to try to get more and more work for comic skaters into these books and like little satellite add-ons, stuff like that. Like what we did with Volume 2 of Graveyard Shift, we had a supplemental book which was all new talent in there. So
Wow.
Todd Mulrooney, Cal Jenkins, Von Klaus, Render Contender, those guys all won a talent search contest to get into that book.
That's cool.
But I always want to leave a door open where I can keep bringing more people in. So as long as these campaigns are successful, then by next year, this is all going to be kicked off in a big way. I had to be a little bit more conservative this year because of the pandemic stuff. And I didn't know where people were going to be at financially by the time we were launching these.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So far, at least from what I've seen, at least from my outsider perspective, it appears as though ComicsGate is one of the best positioned organic movements out there, and is able to easily adapt to changing times.
Yeah, well, we're ahead. We're ahead of changing times right now, thanks to the pandemic, because what we found out was how frail the mainstream industry is, or everyone who's dependent on Diamond. They shut down with a quickness and held back payments as well. So people found out how vulnerable they were. Meanwhile, ComicsGate was able to keep rolling. So there were some hiccups. I probably had the worst of it with the pandemic because the books initially were sent to China, and then they were shut down. China was shut down because of the flu, the virus.
Was that through Print Ninja?
Yep, through Print Ninja. So who do a great job. I really love the work that they do. Their customer service is spot on. Their payments are simple. So I'm not against using them again. But I had sent to them, and we first got delayed by the Chinese New Year, which apparently is like a 2-week long event, I guess. So that sucked. And then the pandemic happened, and they shut everything down there. So we moved the main book, Volume 2, to Canada to try to speed it up a little bit. and then they shut down. So rather than just keep hopping from printer to printer to printer, I made the decision that I was just going to stay put, because I feel like that, to let my backers know that there's stability instead of instability is probably a better thing.
Yeah.
So I just stayed put where I was at and let that roll. But now we're learning that there's places out there, like I think Mixum, who did not shut down, to the best of my knowledge, due to coronavirus. So if something like this picked back up in the fall, and if they try to do something like this again, which I really hope they don't, then I think a lot of people will be able to pivot over to like a company like Mixum rather quickly, to make sure that they're not being interfered with. And obviously the postal system kept running the whole time. So we are nearly immune to it, to any massive disruption in the distribution chain.
Yeah, for sure. Now, was it a matter of when you went to Canada, did you go and still stick with the prior agreement and the orders with China Print Ninja, and then simply place a brand new order specific to the Canada site?
What?
Does that make, all right? It may have been pretty confusing the way I said it. Like
we had ordered through we had ordered our volume 2 through Print Ninja, and then we had to cancel that volume 2 order and move it to Canada.
Okay, yeah. all right, gotcha. Let me see. So, Throwing Stories is expecting Graveyard Shift Tuesday. Charlie's London's there. Awesome. Yeah, Charlie's London's demanding Froggo do sexy dancing. Excuse me. It's a thing. J Bomber fan loved the leak. So did Charlie's London. Michael Oxmall wants to hear more about these packages.
Michael Oxmall was the guy who had the voice that people thought was Preston Poulter.
Oh.
If I recall correctly.
Okay. Oh. All right. And the part about these packages is kind of like a lewd reference. Probably. It's number 1. Welcome. Coach's Graveyard Shift 3 is certified soy-free.
Yeah. So that's going to be exciting to start getting some of the information out on the creative teams that I'm bringing in to help out with the book. 2 great artists are coming in. I'll be writing one of these stories for one of these artists, and as soon as I announce it, everyone will get it. So it's going to be really cool, and they fit right in.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
So once everything is in gear and you've got things pretty much organized, lined up, do you anticipate releasing, like, maybe as early as next year, Graveyard Shift 4 in the earlier part of 2021, and then another property, another IP in the fall, winter period?
Well, the only ones I really care to do are Graveyard Shift as one campaign, either spring or fall, and Project Thunder, and then maybe like a variant cover campaign. But there's a lot of people that want Tank Heist, so I may do a Tank Heist campaign. And what I was thinking of is, if I do a Tank Heist campaign, people wanted to see a like joke version, which I guess is me, Cecil, Ethan, I think Tug. Somebody had done a drawing. It looked really cool and fun, and they were like, we want to see this. So I'll probably talk to the person who did the drawing. I'll probably buy that drawing off them, use that, and then maybe just throw together like a spoof parody that could go along with Tank Heist or something. But yeah, so other than Tank Heist being this kind of odd campaign that might come out, Yeah, so Volume 4 will be coming out next year for Graveyard Shift. Project Thunder, second volume will be out as well. But what I really want to do with Graveyard Shift is I want to move this into a position to where the book is going to be done by the time that the campaign launches. So what I want is I want to shorten the delivery time. If the campaigns are in that same kind of range for success, for me, anything over $100,000 is freaking tastic. But the further we are to like a 175 number, that makes me a little bit more confident about being able to put, tens of thousands of dollars into something that hasn't sold anything. So, because that's the position I would have to be in order to have the book written, colored, lettered, and printed by time that the campaign ends. So that when the books are here, I would love it if I could have it to where the campaign ends 2 weeks later, everyone's getting their book. But that's going to take a lot of front investment. So we'll see how this campaign does. Again, I'm cool with $100,000. But if we do 150, 170 in that range, that's where I'm going to really start putting in the time to and the investment to try to shorten the delivery time on Graveyard Shift.
Right on.
Mm-hmm.
Can you elaborate a little bit on the origins of Tank Heist?
So, yeah, it was on like a Mike Miller stream, and basically it was a conversation on how do you make $1 billion movie. And Tank Heist was kind of the idea, and it was going to have like The Rock, and I don't remember who else was in it. But basically the plot evolved over about 7 people involved on that stream. Andrew Huerta, Art Tiber. I can't remember who else was on there. But yeah, it's basically the gist of it became a tank that is stolen to deliver drugs to a cartel in Mexico. So it's going to cross the border. And there's different ideas. Like I think Art had something like On Golden Tread, where the treads were gold bars. So they're trying to steal the gold bars back into Mexico. And then there was another one. What was it? That the armor was gold. That the armor of the tank was gold. And I think that was someone in chat. It might have been like Sierra Whiskey or someone like that.
Oh my gosh.
But in order for me to get this even off the ground, I have to get a hold of all these people, and I have to come to some kind of agreement with them because, it's questionably of who owns what. The only thing I'm laying claim to is, bottom line, I'll take the title and walk. So, but the general idea of them stealing a tank to get down to Mexico for a cartel, and then take out the cartel. So there's a whole thing, and then there was going to be an Apache helicopter scene, and yeah, like the guy had to get his daughter back from the cartel, so he's gonna run into their fortress with his tank. So that was kind of the whole thing. But I did a video on my channel which was me drawing a Tank Heist image, and it was a pretty popular video. But if you ever seen Trogdor from what was that? It was popular in like early 2000s. Not super bad. What is Strong Bad? Have you heard of Strong Bad? He used to, and I'm gonna answer the emails. I hope it's from a female. Anyways, it was a popular little animation that was going on in like the early 2000s. But there was a thing called Strong Bad. Actually, I'll pull up Strong Bad. Let me find it.
While you're pulling that up, I'm gonna try and catch up on chat. I'm not the best at this. Jay Bomba fan says we're small, but we get the job done. Fraga says dances suck. Back breaks, nice. Charlie's London says no, Frago, no. Mayfield says Frago, quick resuscitation. Whoops. Uh-oh.
Sorry, I had to separate it because I didn't separate the tab.
Oh, gotcha. All right.
Okay, let's see. YouTube.
Frogget Fate says, quick Frogget, say I have fallen and I can't get up. Charlie says, dramatic cry with hands in the air and my knees in the dust, shots in the air. Shouts in the air. Drastically cries. Oh man, we got a lot of drama going on here. Statistical Zero, welcome. Hi everybody, just popping in to show a bit of support and say hey there. Mayfield Jukes, Froggo, a buddy of mine used to run a webcam out of the creative department we worked at. He was a skater and I was a scab cam. Scab cam? Froggo funding is dead. But not if you're dead. Zombie cam. Let's see. Oh, shoot. I lost. All right. Dragon. Strong bag, email number 58.
Let's see if this works out pretty good.
Here I go once again with the email. Every week I hope that it's from a female. Oh man, it's not from a female. Hey Strongbad, can you draw a dragon? I want to see your skills of an artist. Okay. Well, G2G, guys are from California. The dragon? That's easy. Feel free to follow along with my simple step-by-step instructions. I make drawing fun. To begin, draw an S for snake, or dragon, or whatever. Next, we'll draw a more different S. For the head, put a top mark on a long V. Then you add some legs, throw on a couple of arms, and... Whoa, wait a minute. I think I need to start over. This thing doesn't look natural. Okay, starting again, the same way. S, more different S. Close it up real good at the top for his head, and then, using consummate V's, give him teeth, spinities, and angry eyebrows. And you can add smoke or fire, or maybe some wings. You know, if he's a wing-a-ling dragon. Let's put one of those beefy arms back on him for good measure. That looks really good. Coming out of the back of his neck there. Now he needs a name. How about Trogdor the Burninator? Oh yeah. Check out all his majesty. There's my dragon, Kaiser. Let's see how the other students are doing. All right. What do you got for me, Coach Z?
Take a look there. I think she's looking pretty good.
I said consummate, V's. Consummate! Jeez. Guy wouldn't know majesty if it came up and bit him in the face.
It happened once.
Strong man. You just keep doing your thing, man. Get out of my house.
I do what I'm told.
Oh, crap. I didn't know you were doing one.
Oh, sure. I think I've improved on your methods a bit, too. I employed some chiaroscuro shading and...
I'll improve on your methods.
What?
Oh, shit.
That's not an improvement.
Trogdor strikes again.
Trogdor! Trogdor!
Trogdor was a man. I mean, he was a dragon man. I mean, he was just a dragon. But he was still Trogdor! Trogdor! Burninating the countryside, burninating the peasants, burninating all the people in the thatched roof cottages! Thatched roof cottages! And the Trogdor comes in the night!
Damn.
Yeah. So, anyway, so I completely ripped that off, and I drew a tank with my foot, and I had a version of that song about Tank Heist, and yeah. So, anyways, Tank Heist became a thing, and now everybody wants Tank Heist. So
that is so freaking funny. Thanks for sharing that.
mm-hmm.
Welcome, Leroy. Leroy says Malin is gonna put out Tank Heist.
Maybe we'll see.
Junk 666, welcome. John, assistant coach. Oh, damn.
Oh, how dare you? That's a job of the coach joke.
Yeah. Mayfield says, can't wait to get my blood bag. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that's one of the tiers from the last campaign.
Yeah. Keep off the coach. Back Graveyard Shift 3. Mrs. Coach is watching.
Oh yeah, keep me off the couch. I used to joke when I did Drawn and Quartered that if I lost, that I was being put on the couch by the
No exceptions. You must win. No excuses.
I did win. I won. I won a lot.
You
But
won.
I made no friends. I made no friends. So I think I've been putting my drawing competition days behind me.
Oh my gosh.
Every drawing competition I went on, they all tried to get at me.
And it seemed like everyone got jealous because they didn't seem to stand a chance.
Mhm.
Oh man. And I don't know if it's still going on, but what? Oh, all right. There was people were talking about wanting to have another drawing competition that's more CG focused. And was that the Drawn and Backhold that ultimately went over to War Campaigns channel?
That was their thing. I don't know how CG focused or not it was. I imagine it was, but
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I went on there and utterly destroyed. And then I went on there a second time, and War Campaigners went out into Discords, I guess, to try to pull votes against me. So even though I had I don't remember what it was, I had 400, 500 votes or something like that. They were able to get another guy up above me by about 10, or something like that. And it's just whatever.
I've watched maybe half or most of one of those shows, and what I didn't like is that people were starting their drawings at different times, and some of them had a head start.
Yeah, those are called cheaters.
Yeah, exactly. And then there were one or two artists that after it looked like the competition was pretty much over, they kept working on their piece.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean that's whatever. I mean, once it's over, but yeah, they shouldn't really do that until the voting has finalized and stopped.
Right.
So
there was no clear start and end time, as far as I could tell, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here.
But yeah, if anyone wants to watch my triumphant victory on Drawn and Backhold, go onto my channel and watch. What is it? War Campaign versus Wolf Campaign.
Oh yeah.
I think it's about a 30-minute video, but it's pretty epic, and it shows me destroying them.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's see. Justin needs Tank Heist. Leroy seems to agree. Space Monkey says Tank Heist, please. And then there's my promoing again. Oh, this time Periscope didn't gripe at me. Don't forget the mummies, Malin.
No, Ethan wants mummies in it. Yeah, that would be in the joke one.
It doesn't already have mummies?
Huh?
It doesn't already have mummies?
In Tank Heist? No, there was no mummies in the plant. Ethan wants to have mummies in it. So if we do the joke one, the one with Cecil, myself, Ethan, if we do that one alongside it, that will probably have mummies.
You mentioned that Graveyard Shift is like a merging of was it the Universal Monsters and
the X-Men? Yeah.
Yeah, the X-Men. Which Universal monsters are you kind of centering?
So the initial core team is our main guy's named Vlad. He's our stand-in for Dracula. We have Mick the Monster Mayhew. He's our stand-in for Frankenstein's monster. His wife is Lilith Mayhew. She's the bride. We have a little monster girl called Sarah, and she's kind of like I guess she's kind of like a stand-in for a ghoul. We have another character called Sea Urchin. He's a bit of our creature from the Black Lagoon, Aquaman slot. I mean, like I said, it's a merging of these ideas. The DS9 type ship is called Castle Dracula. It has an AI interface, which is like a ghost, so it's like a haunted castle, and that's our Harker character. So, yeah, and then I mean, so that's the initial team, but then what you'll see in the volume 2, especially if you guys got the supplemental, you'll see that we're pulling in a lot more horror stuff from like the 80s. The Michael Myers type characters are getting thrown in here.
Ooh.
And, yeah. So again, these are all homages. It's all meant, to. It's right there in your face. And so if you want to say they're ripoffs, say whatever you want. But it's just meant for people to have a good time and tell a good story and hopefully some big action, stuff like that.
Do you anticipate incorporating like the Invisible Man as a character?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much everything will be able to be incorporated at some point or another. So, Mark has some original ideas as well that he wants to put in for characters. But the main thing with Graveyard Shift is that it's not going to be just locked in one place with 4 members. So our whole goal from volume 3 moving forward is expansion and getting more and more characters onto the Graveyard Shift team, because we want to be building towards this big kind of battle, and at the end we'll be killing off a lot of these characters. But yeah, we'll have a lot of tropes in there, a lot of like kind of iconic figures that people are kind of familiar with.
Speaking of the Universal Monsters, what are your thoughts on the movie industry trying to jumpstart Universal Monsters world in movies, like kind of like the MCU did for Marvel?
What they tried to do with Tom Cruise. When they put out the Mummy. I haven't seen that, but I think that's a good attempt. We were doing it first, though. We started Graveyard Shift back in 2010. That's when we were developing this stuff. We had a preview book out. I think it's a great idea. I just don't know where their execution might have went wrong. What I think is right with Graveyard Shift is it's not just Universal Monsters trying to be in a superhero kind of type universe. Like, they are superheroes and Universal Monsters ish. So, So I mean, we get costumes. It's still fun.
Sweet. What are your thoughts on the very mini drama / controversy about with Anna, aka that Star Wars girl, and Vlad not having a hairy chest?
Oh, well, that's her fetish. She likes hairy guys. So I mean, look, everyone's got a kink, and that's her kink. So, she's not going to get it, because we're not going to just start drawing hair on people halfway through a series. So that's not going to happen. But there is a character with hair on him. He's a werewolf.
Yeah.
So that should make her happy.
Gotta have a werewolf for sure. Let's see. And Dina says starting a drawing ahead of time is is a cheater when you're in a competition. Yep. Yeah,
we did a one-time I call it an exhibition match. I don't even really count it as a drawing competition. We did a one-time competition on Yellow Flash's channel, and Andrew Huerta came in with a fully drawn pencil drawing. All he did was, during the course of whatever, the hour or 2 hours, whatever it was, he just inked it. Like, how dare you? How dare you?
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
he lost. It doesn't matter. I think everybody else knew it was on. I think I let Kyung win that one.
Right.
Exhibition.
They couldn't take John's Chad demeanor as he kicked all their asses.
Yeah.
Subscribe to the only mod who shows himself in the chat. Comic Mark's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. The Mummy was a Universal monster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because I mean we're going into things like New Line Cinema and stuff like that. I mean we're just any kind of horror thing. I mean we could have a stand-in for like a Pennywise. So it's not locked in. It's just the core. It's the original team from the first book.
Do you anticipate having influences from properties like Saw or Child's Play or are you familiar at all with Blue Moon Entertainment? They're popular for real popular in I'd say the 80s mostly, back when Blockbuster Video and Hollywood Video were the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they would make like B or C level horror movies.
Yeah, I remember the name and maybe the logo.
Yeah, they had Puppet Master.
Oh, okay.
They had that one adventure series where the protagonist, the hero, was this kick-ass big attitude guy with guns, but he was really tiny. He was very miniature. He wasn't a midget. He was even smaller.
Oh, the Doll Man?
Yeah, Doll Man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these are like things like from USA Up All Night.
Yeah.
Around its year and Gilbert Godfrey. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Enjoy that stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. Any of that stuff can be pulled at any time, and we're not locked down into like it has to be from one studio or anything like that. I mean, it's anything. I mean, DS9. It's that's sci-fi, so it's it's just whatever. It's something that we can just put in whatever we want, and any little nod we want to basically 80s and 90s entertainment that Marker or myself were really into. So yeah, we can go in any direction. That's what's fun about Graveyard Shift. Like even the ship, we made that so it goes by pretty much like a little bit Star Trek rules. I mean, this thing can go forward through time if they have to. It's the cross dimensions and whatever we need it to do to tell a good story.
Oh, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Multi-dimensional time travel. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Statistical Zero says simpler times. I love it. Yeah. Justin McClure says they're trying to do a whole dark universe. Let's see how they do.
Yeah, I think they stopped though. I think the Mummy didn't do as well as they wanted it to, and then they ended it. So.
Yeah. All of the reports I've seen were that they weren't pleased with the box office results, and the Mummy movie got a lot of bad reviews and didn't generate enough buzz.
Yeah. Now, I will say, probably one of the errors is, and I'm not a big fan of the original Iron Man movie. Like I have my own issues with it, but they sunk probably a shitload of their money into getting Tom Cruise, and then they probably spent their time kind of building the movie a bit around Tom Cruise instead of building just a really good Mummy movie and then casting Tom Cruise. So that might be one of their problems there. Robert Downey Jr. was not at the height of his career when he started Iron Man. He was borderline out of Hollywood. I mean, he was people don't remember. He wasn't anything special when the first Iron Man movie came out. Now everyone thinks he's been Hollywood royalty for decades, and it's not really true. He had a couple of movies in the 80s. I think he did a Chaplin movie, which was critical, but not like a commercial. He didn't do Titanic.
Right.
His Titanic is the Marvel universe. So
yeah.
So they had essentially a good concept. I mean, and I think every kid wants a suit of armor that they can hop into and fly away in. So I think that's the strength of Iron Man.
Yeah, for sure. Statistical Zero says it's turning into Universal Monsters meets Expendables.
Well, Expendables are a little bit. I don't know, because Expendables is just like, that's military. It's like Jawbreakers and stuff, and we're not really that. Not what we're doing.
Right. I agree with you, and on those points, and yeah, I think they should have focused more on the story first and foremost, and then found the cast that fit the best. I think in some of the news reports and the commentary, and from what other YouTubers have been saying, I got the gist that they were intending for Tom Cruise's character to be the constant character that binds everything together, the glue between
Was
all
he gonna,
movies.
feed them or something?
I think so. I never watched that movie, and I've never been hyped up enough or pumped up enough to bother to want to watch it. But I forget which character. I think he was intended to be a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Oh, Statistical Zero. I see your comment. He's saying Expendables was a who's who of action. Graveyard Shift to the who's who of horror is what he's getting at. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Right. Comment Mark says, I gotta go. I'm going to be busy for an hour or so. Hopefully I'll be back by the time you get to this comment. Justin says, Mission Impossible, The Mummy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Mission Impossible was one of Tom Cruise's most recent big deals.
Shoot, is it?
They're on number 5.
It's only big deal, I think, in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a franchise that, has done really well. But, I can't offhand think of any Tom Cruise movie that I'm like, and that's just it. I mean, all these guys now, they're just playing themselves. They're not really acting. You go through Tom Cruise back in the day, what was it? Outsiders? Is that right?
I
don't know if it's that or it's that because of that Stephen King comment. But yeah, Outsiders, Born on the 4th of July, even I guess, I don't know, maybe Top Gun, maybe, I don't know. But this is a guy who can actually act, and now he just plays himself. A lot of these guys who can play themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
Last character that Tom Cruise slipped into that I can recall that was worth anything was that fat guy from Tropic Thunder.
Oh, I actually haven't seen that movie. I've heard it's kind of like.
Oh, you better watch it now before they edit the shit out of it, because.
Oh my god! Yeah, that's a good point, because everyone is griping about Robert Downey Jr. in blackface.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I really should catch it before they muck it up. Because I mean, you probably heard about Splash.
Yeah, about the butt, like them covering up her butt. Yeah, and that's crazy too, because I read on this, and forgive me if my details are a little fuzzy, but Splash was made by Disney. But what they did was they created Touchstone to try to reach out into the adult audience. So the first movie they did with Touchstone was Splash. Like, it was meant to be something that was not meant for necessarily the tween audience that Disney already had. So kind of the same reason why they bought Marvel, because Marvel was the the 14-year-old boy and up market that they wanted to grab as well. So they created an adult line to make movies called Touchstone. They put Splash out, which has the butt scene, and then now here we are in 2020, and they're trying to make this movie now appropriate for the tween audience again. It's like, you guys are defeating the whole point of what you're trying to do by expanding your brand to grab these other markets. And that's something interesting too, is, that is the truth, is like girls gravitate towards a certain thing, tweens gravitate towards a certain thing, 14-year-old boys. These are all different markets for very specific reasons. So when all these companies form, they all kind of target who their demographic is. And now to even say that is like racist thinking, or it's ridiculous. And these things are these ways for a reason.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And totally agree with that. Statistical mentions that Mission Impossible since 1996. Dang, that long ago?
Man, we're getting old.
Wow, yeah,
We're
seriously.
getting old when 25 years almost is condensed into a decade. So they've been doing it like 10 years.
When I
God,
was
I can't remember what that was. There was another movie franchise that went into the 90s, and I was like shocked that it went into the 90s. I'm like, really?
I don't remember it that way.
Yeah.
Oh man. I think that I'm actually older than Ethan and you. Because
Well, I try to keep my name or my age a little bit under wraps, but if you're older than Ethan, yeah, you're older than me.
yeah, because I figure if Anna is 9, then you're probably 10.
No, that's creepy. I get creeped out when she says she's 9. Like, what's wrong with you?
As far as I remember, when I was your age, I was telling people like you to get off my lawn.
I wish. Get off my lawn. I look forward to that every day.
Oh man. Ordinary Eyeball Drew, welcome. Cruz is great in Edge of Tomorrow and Made in America. Those are recent.
Edge of Tomorrow was it's pretty good. I think the concept was pretty good. Yeah.
Wasn't that like a sci-fi version of Groundhog Day?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, it's based on I think a manga called All You Need Is Kill, which is a really cool fucking name.
It is. I don't remember what Made in America is though. Oh wait, isn't that a movie from Barack and Michelle Obama?
I don't know.
Criticizing.
If you have a hard time knowing what it is, then it's not a hit.
Right.
We're talking hits.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, even Edge of Tomorrow, I don't even know if that was considered like a hit.
Yeah, I think it was made had some moderate success, but I don't think it was really a blockbuster per se.
Yeah, yeah, because we're not on the third one by now. We would be if it was a hit.
Yeah. I mean, I remember Tom Cruise mostly from, most recently Mission Impossible, but back in the Top Gun days, and before that, what was the name of that movie? It wasn't The Graduate had the other guy. What was the one where he was like in college and he had this money-making scheme? Oh shoot!
Are you talking Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
Oh shoot! Hold on, I'm looking up this. American Made is a 2017 American action comedy film directed by Doug Liman, written by Gary Spinelli, starring Tom Cruise.
Huh. All right.
Oh, this is where he's the drug dealer. He's like flying in cocaine.
Oh, all right. Mayfield Duke says Edge of Tomorrow is awesome.
Oh, they're saying Risky Business.
Oh yeah, that's the one. So Risky Business, Top Gun are the things that I most associate with Tom Cruise.
Rain Man.
Oh yeah, hell yeah! I can't believe I forgot about Rain Man. I love that movie. Statistical Zero says, "Hey, I have to head out. Good interview, WyzGyz. Great hearing from you again, John. Later,
Mhm.
chat. Go get those comics read and projects done."
Yeah. Ooh, Labyrinth? Is that no
That was a
Legend?
Oh,
Where Tom Cruise is with who's that one chick? Mia. Oh, Minority Report. Good call.
oh. Well, there's one. That was
Mhm.
interesting.
Yeah, Minority Report was pretty good.
Yeah, that was like all about the whole. Uh, I guess it kind of touched on the deep state and surveillance.
Well, yeah, but with psychics. That was a 2002 movie.
2002.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's a ways back. By the way, the name of the movie is American Made, based on a true story. Huh. Fraga says, "Got to get a rocking chair set up to yell at kids." I'll bring one to my Jeep and set up in the Walmart parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's number one says, Cruz said that early on he had to decide whether to be an actor or a brand. He chose brand. So every movie he plays, Tom Cruise.
That McGuire movie. That was a good one.
Oh, yeah. Show me the money.
Yeah.
Yeah, risky business. Thank you. Michael 10080, welcome. And is that Wolverine? Kind of like Volvo. Yeah, Minority Report, Days of Thunder. Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that before they edited it out, so that you're left with a 5-minute movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I on my Amazon Prime, I started just buying like old movies that I bought like The Last Starfighter,
Oh yeah.
Critter, Never Ending Story, just stuff that I really dug when I was a kid. So I started getting into watching those again. I got honorable mention Ice Pirates.
Oh yeah.
So
I
terrible movie, but
Yeah.
that's like the guilty pleasure movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not even that funny. I mean, when I was a kid, though, it was hilarious and creepy, and yeah, it's not that funny.
Yeah, especially when you rewatch it as an adult. The Color of Money wasn't bad.
Yeah, that was the sequel to The Hustler, I think. Right?
Oh, was it? Okay. Sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah, I got a life lesson out of that Hustler movie, man, because the dude he's playing Minnesota Fats, Gleason. They're right in the beginning of the movie. They do this like all night long pool tournament. Like that's Paul Newman's whole goal is to beat this Minnesota Fats. So they're going all night long. I think they're both getting kind of drunk, whatever. But then like crack of dawn is happening, and there's still no winner on this match, and it's like the biggest match ever. And Minnesota Fats like goes into a bathroom and he just kind of like straightens up all his shit, dusts off himself, fixes his clothes, gets himself comfortable, and then goes back out there and wins. And I was like, yeah. And I was working construction, and so that used to be my thing, man. When the day was just getting long and shitty, and I was just not feeling it anymore, man, I would go into a porta-john and I would just straighten up all my gear. I just refix my boots, socks, straighten up your pants, just fix everything, get everything in order. Then I go back out there and hit it. Everyone should do that. Whenever you're feeling worn out, just go fix your shit, man.
Yeah, that's good advice. Let's see here. Genuine Comics, welcome. I'm really looking forward to the new book. I take it all 3 issues will be available?
Yep. Yeah, so I'm really leaning to where I'm going to combine volume 1 and volume 2 into one book. And so then I'll be offering that at a lower price. So you won't have to be paying $50 to catch up. You'll probably be paying $25 for that one book, and then $25 for the first printing of volume 3, and whatever else we got going on. So, but yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
definitely. Oh, go ahead.
Richard doesn't do that, oddly enough, with Jawbreakers. So, but I think that's the way to go. You know, and that's what I say is like back matter. It's in the back matter, guys. Build up your catalog, and you know, then you always have that work that's done beforehand to re-offer, and you don't have to put in the same amount of work again. It's great.
Do you think it's better to, like, let's say you're 2 or 3 issues in, is it better to ahead of time, you know, assuming your campaign did pretty well, is it better to overbuy so that you have a lot of excess inventory early on, or is it better to just maybe overbuy enough to cover possible damaged product during mailing, and then have the digital files available at the printers, and then if you need to order another print run book?
This is all up to the individual. So, you know, because even though those files are done, you know, you're going to have to pay for the full print run again. And those aren't necessarily cheap. So, you know, it is better to go in volume. I only overprint enough to cover, you know, damages. In this case, I actually ordered like 1,000 extra, which is pretty good because I'm giving people really good pristine copies in their orders for these volume 2s. So it's good because you know that you have really great copies that you can send out to your backers. Now, for me, my whole model is with Graveyard Shift is scarcity. So all these first prints, I don't want an abundance of them. I want people to get them, and as we continue going on with these campaigns, you know, it'll get harder and harder for people to get the first print of volume 1 or the first print of volume 2, and those are all signed. Every backer has a signed copy of those. So when other people get into the game and they want to start getting the original first printing, now they have to talk to some of the previous backers. You know, is the long game, and hopefully through scarcity, it's not too much of a long game. So we're going to try to offload, I think, the last whatever copies we have, Mark and I, of volume 1, which may be about 100 copies. I'm not sure. So he's going to have to do a count. I'm going to have to do a count. And then we're going to offload 100 of those first print, 100 of the volume 2 first print, along with 100 of the volume 3 first print. And then that's it. They're gone. And that's the idea. And once those are gone, then, you know, you've lost your chance. And now you have to negotiate with someone that's bought it. But with the book like the combo book that's going to have volume 1, volume 2 in one single book, that'll have a different and unique cover for itself. But that might be the one that we end up mass producing. So that way we can always have that one for all our different campaigns, and people can just hop in there and catch up with this combined one, this cheaper book. But the first printings are always going to be of the highest quality, highest great paper stock, 100-pound minimum on the paper stock for the interior, which is really thick. If you guys don't know how, you know, those pounds work out with paper, 30-pound would be really thin. 100-pound is like really thick. Anyone who has Graveyard Shift Volume 1, you can feel, I mean, it has a flick sound to it if you try to flick the paper. So it's good stuff. And then I think we have like 10 point on the cover, which is, you know, still a really good sturdy cover. But the combo volume will probably be a little bit thinner. It won't be like Marvel thin. It'll be like probably 80-pound paper or something like that. It might still have a 10-point cover on it. It won't be a dramatic drop in quality, but it's not the first printing. But I think it'll work out pretty well.
Sweet. Did you say the cover is? Did you say 10 point?
Yeah, the cover is 10 point.
All right. Now, does that represent the thickness?
Yes, yeah. So there's 10 point, and 10 point is what I always get. I mean, I'm sure there's other points out there that I don't get, but I get 10 point, which is after you move out of pounds, it goes into like a point system. Is my understanding.
Oh, all right. So it becomes like a heavier card stock, maybe.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Genuine comics. Damn it! Now all books will have different sizes.
Well, the combo books will be about 100 pages a piece. So then when we get volume 3, volume 4 out, those will probably become a combo book as well of about 100 pages. So yeah, the first prints are all about the same size, and the combo books will all be about the same size.
Do you envision with either your books that you keep releasing or possibly with ComicsGate in general, them getting into the model that Marvel and DC were doing, where after it kind of a title ran out of steam, they would release a second printing of books?
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, that's always been the way of comics is, you put out. Oh, are you talking not necessarily second print? Second printings are when you have a lot of steam. So that's the idea with if Marvel goes into a second print, that's because there's a lot of extra demand.
Oh,
Now, if you're talking like variant covers or something like that to help pick up, sure, absolutely. I mean, I did a variant covers, and Andrew Huerta variant cover, absolutely. Mike Miller, when he did the Lone Star campaign, he had like 10 variant covers, and that's too many for me.
I'd say so too.
Yeah, so I mean, for me, it's like if you do a couple or you do a few, that's pretty good. But I don't want Joe Schmo, the average person out there, to feel like they get priced out, because a collector wants to get it all.
Oh,
but
yeah.
if that, in order to have it all, you're paying hundreds of dollars. That can be a little bit of a hurt, and they might start to resent that from you. So, a couple variant covers are fine, but when you're doing 10, I mean, everyone is welcome to do whatever they want. I'm not condemning anybody for how they run their business. I'm just saying this is my own personal kind of point of view. Your customer base is like a fragile egg, and you want to do everything you can to make it feel comfortable, safe, that you're not trying to exploit or take advantage of it. So, if I think it's safe to have a couple, but if you go crazy, people might start to kind of resent you for that. That's just my own view. Again, I'm not condemning anybody. Do whatever you guys want. So I play it safe in that regard.
That's cool. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot to be said about having a certain level of scarcity to increase demand and excitement. Because the more you put out, if you have it like an endless supply of them, then it floods the market, and like everyone and their mother has it. So it never has time to generate any real increase in value.
Yeah. But at the same time, I mean, people will also make the argument that, look, we're not doing 60,000 print runs or even 1 million print runs. We're doing less. Even Ethan is doing less than 10, I think, less than 10,000 for his print run. So, I mean, even that is a real scarce number. So you're welcome to do whatever you want. There's no one way of doing this. This is just the way that I prefer to explore, while other people are exploring other directions. Like the downside is every time I go back to print, I have to go back to print, except for now. Now, when I do this combo book, I will be able to overprint and offer that over and over again in future campaigns. And eventually I'll have a volume 3, volume 4 combo book. So eventually I'll have a tier which will just be for the back issues put into these rather cheap combo books. So we're going to find out how that works. I don't know if that works out good or bad for me down the road, but there's only one way to find out, and that's to do it. Someone has to do it.
Sure. Yeah.
which is even why I hesitate to condemn someone like Mike Miller when he did the 10 variant covers. Try it, I guess, see how the market responds to you. If it's super successful, great, maybe you got something there. But before he launched Lone Star and before I launched Graveyard Shift Volume 2, Lone Star 2 and Graveyard Shift 2, I know Mike wanted to do all these variant covers. He wanted to do like Facebook advertising and all these different aspects of trying to grow his audience. And it sounds great on the surface. And I remember you when he was saying it, like, yeah, it sounds good on the surface. But my point was always, I'm not sure I need all that.
Right.
Like, I don't think I need 10 covers. I don't think I need to have Facebook ads to compete with Mike or anyone else. It's like, I feel like the market is there, and I feel like they're still there. And the only way I'm going to find out is if I do it differently. If I do exactly what Mike did and had the same results, I would probably be saying, yeah, Mike made the right call. Do 10 covers and do Facebook ads. It only costs you X amount of dollars per click. And, like that's what I would probably be preaching. But that's because I wouldn't have gone the other way, but I did go the other way. And I did have better results than Mike initially. Graveyard Shift only stays in campaign mode. After 60 days, the campaign is locked down. There's no more offering, no more money comes in, nothing like that. Mike, over the course of like 6 months, was able to catch up, and I think eventually get past me just a little bit, which is why we ended up doing that Huerta cover. But that's why. That was something that had to be figured out. We had to know, like, are these steps that Mike is doing, are they necessary in order to get more sales? And no, they weren't. But we only know that because I chose not to do any of that, even though it sounded like it was a good idea. Like, well, how would I know otherwise?
Yeah, and not knocking people like them. I have to agree. I think I personally, being a backer of as many books as I can afford, I appreciate when there are maybe 3, at most 4 variant covers. But after that, I really want to start seeing other types of perks. That's why I start becoming more interested in like original art pieces or stickers, even bookmarks, little tchotchkes, and the like. Genuine Comics says, how many issues of Graveyard Shift do you have planned?
Right now, I think we are going up to volume 5 or 6. So each one is about 50 pages. So whatever that comes out to, if they were 25-page comics, which is a little long. Marvel does 20 pages comics right now. So 12 single issue size, I guess, but it's only 5 volumes right now. We have one big goal, one big plan that we're heading towards. Like I said, we're going to be, over the next couple of volumes, just keep expanding the cast. It's going to get bigger and bigger. And we're introducing some superhero elements. More superheroes are out there. We're going to introduce them. You get a little peek in volume 2. And and then everything leads up to where we're going to be at with volume 5. And you guys, when you get volume 2, you'll have a little clue into where we're going with volume 5. So
as you add more to the cast, more characters to the cast, is it still going to be relatively easy for you to incorporate their origin stories in, 20, 25 pages of content?
Well, we have supplemental books. So like what we did with this supplemental book was we introduced in one of the stories one character called Killer 99. He's basically the stand-in for Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees. So we did we gave him an origin story, and we give you a glimpse of some other characters that we're playing around with as well. So what we'll do is we'll keep going through the supplemental for any characters that we want to put an extra spotlight on. A lot of these people are going to be thrown into the shredder along the way. So, you may not get too much out of them, but that doesn't mean that there won't be a story to be told about them at another point. Prequels or who were they? Just like anything else in comics, we can always go back and touch on it, or maybe they come back in one form or another down the road. So.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
J Bomba Fan says, "How will you sell your comics of Volume 1 and 2 eBay?"
Oh, if you're talking about the first prints. Oh no, you're talking about the combo pack, I think. No, I'm only keeping things like this is my plan. Like I'm only keeping things available in the campaigns. Like it's your one place to get them. So if you miss out, hopefully that drives people to the campaigns next time. If maybe one day, maybe they'll be out on eBay or other places. But I'm just a simple man, so I think having the campaigns have everything right there for people is the simplest way to go about it.
Sweet.
It might be dumb. I might be losing money, but I'm about to burn about 1,000 copies of books that are sold at $25. So I'm about to burn $25,000 worth of comic books. So,
Oh dang! Ouch! Oh, that's gonna hurt.
I'm gonna film it. It's gonna be on video. It's gonna be a big old bonfire, a lot of gasoline.
Oh dear. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, I'm a big dummy, but that's the thing though too, is that like I said, if scarcity is your goal, then all of a sudden you have all these extra copies that you felt weren't up to par to send out. So you got to get rid of them. Otherwise, because people are like, well, give them away, give them to children's hospitals or something like that. I'm like, no, because that defeats my backers. So.
Yeah. I can see that.
Do a damage campaign. I'm like, no, because my whole thing is I'm trying to have scarcity for people, so I can't just do it. But yeah, I mean, really, and then if you put it at its, like the print cost, it's probably a legit, like, I don't know, 1,000 copies. I'm probably putting a couple grand down the toilet, so maybe 4, I don't know. But
send it to the military. Send it to the troops.
Oh, Jay Bamo is asking about first print. So first print, we're going to have a tier that's going to be in the campaign, and it'll be volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, all of them signed by Mark and myself. So it's going to be pricey, guys, but it's going to be pricey because I don't want to undercut people that have already acquired value in their books. So, but like I said, it's probably only going to be about 100 more copies. We'll see, because Mark's going to have to count his. I'm going to have to count mine, but right now I'm way too busy doing fulfillment.
And so you guys each have a portion, like 50-50 product to actually, wait, you're doing the fulfillment this time around, right? Graveyard Shift 2?
Mm-hmm.
So you've got all this product at your place.
All the volume 2 copies are here.
All right. Yeah.
Mark has like 2 copies of volume 2. I'm not sure what he has of volume 1 from the original time.
Oh, gotcha.
And he sent me a box, but I don't even know what's in the box. So,
a P.O. box opening video.
Mm-hmm.
So did people try and convince you to do something similar to what Ethan was doing, where he has an eBay store and he sells things at markup?
Yeah, I mean, every now and then people, they want to be able to get it when they want to get it, and I understand that, but
right.
It's just not the way this works right now. Once I have the compilation books, maybe we'll find something down the road to kind of do that, but it's just not right now. It's just not on my radar. But it doesn't mean that I won't do that with those. But the first prints will not be available on eBay, or not from me. I mean, I can't say what a fan would do.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did I understand correctly that first you're going to do a combo book of issues 1 and 2, and then you'll do another one of 3 and 4? And if it's a 5 book story or so, or maybe was it 5 or 6?
Right now we're lined out to 5 or 6 volumes. I don't
All right.
remember. I believe it's 5.
So do you think you might have a bundle of, a combo 1 and 2, a combo 3 and 4, a combo potentially 5 and 6, and then an ultimate edition of all 6 in one book?
Sure. Yeah, I don't see why you couldn't do something like that. Ultimately, I'd like to see a hardcover version. I don't know with that many pages. I doubt maybe that would be like a 2 hardcover thing. But I don't know. I have an idea for a hardcover. I just don't know how many I would put into it. The hardcover would be jet black though, and with no writing and nothing on it but a black on black Graveyard Shift logo. And then that would probably have like it'd probably be like the cover itself would be matte, and then the logo would have a little bit of gloss to it, kind of like Metallica's Black Album.
That sounds that sounds pretty wicked.
Mm-hmm. No writing, front, back, or spine. It's just gonna look like a tome.
Oh my gosh, that does sound cool, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Yeah. Justin says Miller needs to do 20 covers next time.
So yeah, but even that is so like Mike is going to launch his Lone Star, I guess pretty soon. He's doing his fulfillment for it now, so that's another thing. It's like we don't know what it's going to do until he puts it out there, and but I think 300 backers, 400 backers, I think that's possible for him. Over the course of 8 months where he normally leaves these things open, I don't know. I don't know how much he can do. But right now I think because of, not being a part of ComicsGate, I think it's going to take a lot of wind out of his sails. And, so being part of a network is important. And, Mike made his decision to not be a part of that network specifically. Yep. And, he'll probably pay a price for it. And then, having the benefit, and it's definitely a benefit of being able to get on a show like Ethan's and have that supercharge a campaign. I think if I'm in the good graces of the fans and ComicsGate, and if Ethan is, let's just say if he went deathly ill for 2 months and couldn't promote me, I believe that, through the good graces of the fans, I think that Graveyard Shift is a $100,000 campaign still. But I think with Ethan for sure, that supercharges it up into the $175,000 range.
Sure.
And but look, if I'm pissing off the fans, if I'm, telling them to get bent left and right, and telling them to unsubscribe from me, and the other things. Then it's going to be a dramatic effect. I could see my backer count, going as low as 400 over the course of a campaign, 500 maybe. So it's not the worst. There's still smaller campaigns out there that are doing that, but it's like, don't turn away from your network and your fans, and do your best to keep your ego out of it.
Sure, absolutely. Here's a interesting idea. It's number 1. Lone Star 3 comes without a cover, but Mike will mail you a new Velcro cover each week for 52 weeks.
Oh shit! Don't put that out there. That almost sounds like a good idea.
I know.
Mike will be like, "Why didn't I think of it?"
J Bomba fan says, "I want to buy one of your first prints." Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll have it available. But that's part of like the idea with the covers for Graveyard Shift too. Is again, it's that collector mentality. Uh-huh. The idea is that if there's, let's say down the road we get like 10 or 20 volumes of Graveyard Shift out there, each with an identical cover, just they're a different color. Like that's it. So at some point, you're like, God, I got everything except I didn't get the green, or I didn't get the blue, or I didn't get the orange, because those are the earliest ones. So again, like that's good because you want people to go in there and get one of each. Hopefully they'll get like 2 of each though. So down the line, when somebody else comes in with that collector mentality, he says, well, I got everything except the green, the blue, the orange. So now I benefit because all my buyers are getting all of these or getting 2 of these. But now my backers can benefit by selling, a volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, whatever the case may be, at a higher rate and probably making their money back and hopefully making a profit. So, I mean, it's it works both ways for everyone.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Some wise advice from Andino. Don't get high off your own supply.
Always. Well, I do smoke an occasional weed. It is my supply, but I'm not selling it.
J-Bomba will buy.
Thank you, Jay.
Watching 2 men kick each other in the head in UFC and listening to the coach in the live stream seems right. Welcome, Mr. K.
Awesome.
For sure. Mayfield Duke says, I wish Mike the best somewhere else.
Yeah, and with Mike, it's like, Mike, at any point, he can say he's ComicsGate. He doesn't need me or Ethan to say you're welcome back. He can just say, I'm ComicsGate, guys. I fucked up. Whatever he feels he did, he can apologize or not, and get back into the fans' good graces. And even when we were doing like Drawn and Quartered, it's like he always had that opportunity to win these fans over that were coming in to watch his show, but he resented them because they were coming in to watch for me or vote for me, And it's like, well, all you have to do is convince people. I have no control over the people who come over here. Convince them that you're a likable guy and that they want to see you win. Underdog Mike, that's all he had to do. But he didn't, but he took it as an insult.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of like I think Ethan talks about this a lot. It's like with this kind of promotional tool, people kind of develop a character that others kind of associate with you, that you almost become an actor of sorts, and you just kind of embrace it, and you gotta let your personality shine and allow people to connect with you.
Yeah, well, I think in large, I think what the internet does or what YouTube does is, it kind of takes who you are. It just amplifies it. So, I think for the most part, who I am is who I am, but I'm a little more shit talky, I guess, on the internet than I am necessarily when I'm just hanging out with people in real life. So, but like, if you get me on a pool game, like if we start playing pool, I do start talking trash. And it's not because I'm good at pool, because trust me, I'm not. I'm terrible. But it's a little bit more enjoyable. Excuse me. It's a little more enjoyable for me when I'm talking trash and I know I'm so terrible. But then it's also, if you beat me, that's a greater victory for you because you beat that shit talking asshole. So so that's about the only time my little kind of asshole kind of peeks out, I guess, in real life is doing pool or some kind of competition or something or other. But I think otherwise that's me. I keep it at a 5, not a 10.
Yeah, that's a good point. The internet does have a tendency to amplify.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Crack Croc says, howdy, brothers and sisters. Hope all are well. I think the best thing to see is passion in people for what they are making. At least that's one of my main things I pay attention to, big or small. Mm-hmm. That's one of the things that drew me to you, John. I love the fact that you're like so open to sharing ideas and advice, and that's what I get as the general feel of ComicsGate as a whole. People are very supportive of one another. They want to see each other succeed, and you're one of the front runners, in my opinion, and are always you do streams with Mandy and are always hyping up worthy projects, and I think that's great. And you guys are a couple of my biggest influencers as well.
Oh, I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, even like, from me to Ethan, like Ethan's out there and he bangs a lot of pans. Sometimes it's all great. Most of the time it's great stuff, but sometimes you're like, whatever. But it's like if he wasn't out there taking the hits, then, every hit he takes, that's why I stick by Ethan, because it's like, we're all human and none of us have this shit figured out. But Ethan's out there making a lot of noise, and it's there to benefit all of us. He doesn't have to say he's ComicsGate. He can just say he's All Caps Comics, and he could still make a $900,000 campaign. But every time he's out there and says ComicsGate, that helps all of us get a little bit more attention. So I appreciate that he goes out there and look. Sometimes we may look the fool. Maybe sometimes we may be a little bit embarrassing for some of the people within ComicsGate. But if we're not out there making the noise, then who is? Because if no one's making noise, it's gonna die. So we need people out there that are, I may not be the shining example for people at all times. Hopefully, most of the time, people look at me and appreciate what I'm doing. But obviously, I'm going to screw up along the way too. It's going to be a little cringy here and there. But if these things aren't happening and this energy isn't being created, then it all falls apart.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's what I say about that. I appreciate you guys that have my back all the time, and it's great. And but yeah, I mean, it's not all fun. Sometimes it's embarrassing. You get some egg on your face. You say something stupid. Somebody wants to hang you for it, and it's tough. But we got to have people out there, and that's why we have to be careful about like cancel culture and things along the lines of that. Because if they're not out there making the noise, and you're not out there making the noise, then who's going to make the noise? And then all you have left is you just have a bunch of independent comic creators that aren't doing very well at all because no one's making noise. And that's what the independent market has largely been for the last 20 years.
Yeah, I see a lot of projects on Indiegogo. I haven't spent much time on Kickstarter because as a whole Indiegogo seems to be like is it accurate to call it like laissez-faire, where they let you do your thing and they know their place as a processor of transactions on Indiegogo, where they're, I think you can describe it as like ComicsGate friendly or sympathetic.
Commerce.
Yeah, it's all about
they want to make money. And look, I mean, I directly dealt with the problems with Kickstarter through Jawbreakers. Richard and I had, big plans. So to have our book rejected because they didn't apparently like Richard, it's crazy. Now, this is what I'm happy. I'm happy that they got rid of the girl. I don't know if she was the girl directly responsible at the time for when Jawbreakers was done. But look, I mean, that at least cracks the door a little bit to where I almost want to say, hey, Kickstarter people, put some of these people that you pulled off on there before, put them on there, make things right, and then we can at least say, okay, not so bad.
Yeah.
But
true.
On the other hand, Kickstarter did do that. Indiegogo was there for what became ComicsGate. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to reward Kickstarter's bad behavior at the expense of Indiegogo. So so it's a difficult thing right now. But if they show over the next year that they're being more friendly to people that may have whatever conservative views or whatever the case may be, then that's great. And maybe that'll make me feel a little bit more relaxed about hosting somebody on like ComicsGate Presents if they use Kickstarter. But right now, I don't want to use it. I don't, I hope people in ComicsGate don't use it.
Yeah.
just because of it was bad behavior. So
Yeah.
Indiegogo's been very friendly to all of us, and they didn't have to be, but we
Yeah.
needed someone, and they were there.
Yeah, and for that I wholeheartedly appreciate Indiegogo, and that's why I product. I any books I look for in Indiegogo,
Hmm.
and I mean I heard about things like what Todd McFarlane's Spawn project, and even a big name like him wasn't enough for me to
Yeah.
sign up with Kickstarter.
Yeah, I didn't back that. Yeah, it was for an action figure, but they're also selling a comic book with it. I think is what it was. But yeah, I didn't back it. If it came to Indiegogo, I'd consider it.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I'm just not all about like action figures. I mean, they're fine. It's just not
Right.
really the thing. I don't have a bunch of them.
Right.
Uh,
I borrow ideas. Says any way to get that first training card from Graveyard Shift 1?
I would have to look and see if it was written down as being exclusive or not. So if it was exclusive, then probably not. If because I know in Volume 2 we had an exclusive card. I think it was what was it? Oh, on the Huerta campaign, I think it was like the Mick the Monster Mayhew foil card or something like that. But yeah, if it says it's exclusive, it won't be available again. But if it didn't say it was exclusive, then there's a possibility.
Mr. K, welcome. Mr. K says, "Hi, John. Are you going to do a time-lapse video or live stream showing the sketch cover from the Spite Money campaign?"
Sketch cover. There's no sketch cover from the Spite Money. That's the Huerta campaign. There's a Andrew Huerta cover, and there's a Virgin. Oh, maybe you think that's the Virgin. The Virgin cover is the Andrew Huerta one with no text, no writing. There's nothing on it. It's just pure art. So, but yeah, there's no sketch cover for any of the campaigns at this point.
Justin McClure says, "I love you. I love John."
Oh, thanks.
We love you, man. We love you. Word, John. Crack Croc says, "My point was more like others trying to pressure me or others into getting into their project rather than just wanting to show it off. Puts me off. Pressuring to get them into their project." All right. One of the main things I pay attention to. We must reflect back on this comment. Best thing to see is passion in people for what they are making. All right. Let's see here.
Just for the record, I'm gonna have to head out in about 10 minutes. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Thanks for the heads up. Let's see here.
I had a call from the wife.
Oh,
so
all right.
I'm gonna have to call her back.
Oh, absolutely. If you need to, feel free to mute and take.
No. This is gonna be a call, and then she's gonna be home.
All right. Let's see here. Mayfield Juice. Yeah, the hard sell is obnoxious. That's why EVS is so good. He makes me laugh and rolls out a soft sale.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the thing. Excuse me. Being on his show, like we all try to make a point that when we're on Ethan's show or anyone's show, that we're not always in chill mode. Most of the time it's let's talk fart jokes or whatnot, and that might be 5-6 hours long. With an occasional dash of, oh, by the way, here's a campaign or something, you guys want to check it out. And then there's obviously the other streams where it's all chill all the time. So, but we have to entertain people. If all we're doing is saying buy this, buy this, buy this, and if we're not putting in that actual entertainment value, people have very little reason to keep tuning in.
Yep.
So you have to have not a balance, a large imbalance, as a matter of fact. You have a lot more entertainment than you do with the actual shilling. That's kind of like a 75-25 split. So
Exactly. Crack Croc says no passion and trust in their own product is what it says to me. Yep. Mayfield Jukes. Swarfed seal. Okay. Sell. Don't. Okay. I guess it was a matter of typos. Froggo says creators that truly love their project and work have a certain air about them that's clear to see. Those are the ones I love passionately supporting. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people you just feel like all it is just, to buy. And that's a hard thing is, or actually that's the easy thing is to just look like all you want to do is sell, 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 sell. That's how most people are, but it's, letting people know that you're here to be entertaining. And then, selling is a goal, but it can't be, if as a YouTuber, it can't be your only goal. You have to entertain people here.
Yep. Genuine Comics says, I don't back any projects on Kickstarter anymore. As a comic creator, I can't stand behind censorship. This is why I moved my own book to IGG, while so many people told me I'd be more successful on Kickstarter. Yep. And some people even try doing campaigns on both at the same time.
I think Tucci tried that. And I think he would have done just as well if he was on Indiegogo the whole time.
And Dino was on Ethan's show. He always kicks me. Leroy, EBS and Malin are my Carson and McMahon. Yeah, you guys really jived together well, and Cecil too.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. I'm like, well, where does Cecil fit in there? Cecil's a hell of a lot funnier. Well, Cecil's probably the funniest of all of us, but Ethan is definitely the host. He has the mojo to keep everything going. He's funny. He can play instruments. I mean, he's the entertainer.
Oh, yeah.
I could see myself as the McMahon. So I'm just kind of sit off to the side with a couple of chuckles and a snipe here and there.
You are
but yeah, Cecil has to be in there somewhere. I don't know if that example is the best, but
yeah, harsh when the desperation to succeed seeps through too. A subtype of a hard sell. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Kami Mark was asking if he missed his comment. Here it is again in replay. I've got to go. I'm going to be busy for an hour, so hopefully I'll be back by the time you get to this comment. Ta-da!
Yeah, I think Ethan made a point a while ago, way in the Wayback Machine about, when people are selling or when they're buying and they're buying because you come off very desperate or almost like it's like a charity buy, like, guys, I need this. Oh my God, my house burnt down, all this stuff. It's like whatever sad story you have, like that may work one time and it may work one time well, but just like, the guy who comes and asks you for $50, you might give him $50 one time, but when he comes knocking on your door a year later, you're like, I see a pattern, So it's better not to try to sell, through desperation. And if you're getting into comic book crowdfunding, I definitely advise that if you're in a desperate situation, this is probably not the thing to be doing at this time. So it's a lot of money invested. It's a lot of risk, and it can be tricky. Even a successful campaign, we've seen them. Detective Dead did fairly well, and then there was a whole issue about not delivering. I mean, Kickstarters are littered with campaigns that haven't delivered. So I mean, if you're in a desperate situation, not to mention the temptation. So you have an abundance of money that if all that money was just yours, like Cecil plays off on his cash grab, right? Oh, you're not getting a book, If you're in a desperate situation and you have $20,000-$30,000 just sitting in your bank account, all of a sudden to pay rent with that could become tempting, or to buy a meal, or it's just going to be one meal. It's not going to be every night, and then it becomes every week and every night, and all of a sudden you're blowing through that money. So being in a desperate situation, this is not necessarily the right thing to be doing.
Yeah. I think it was suggested by several creators that before considering launching an Indiegogo book campaign, you want to actually have in the bank already roughly $4,000 to $6,000 off the bat, set aside exclusively to work your project and get it started, that you're willing to lose up front.
I don't know. That seems like a lot of money. The point of a crowdfund is a crowdfund. What I would say is, you probably want to take about $1,000 up front to get your pages drawn and colored for your comic, if that's what you're crowdfunding. Have that first $1,000 ready to go to pay the creative talent to make those first 5 pages. Other than that, if you have a day job and you're able to get by on your day job and just do your thing, and that's really all you need to go beyond that. That's the point of crowdfunding, is to raise the exact amount of money that you need to make to not go in the hole. Right. So, with us, we get a little jokey on like what our goals are. Like I think the last graveyard shift, the goal was $500, but that's only because we already know that, there's an audience there waiting from the first one. There's a whole list of backers from the first one. And chances are we're probably going to pull 10 grand, which is about, what we would probably want to be able to make in like bare minimum.
So would you recommend anyone starting an IGG campaign to do the math and see what it would take, get quotes and see what it would take to realistically release your book, and use that as your guideline for how much money you want to ask for on your campaign?
Sure. Yeah. Definitely be informed. Yeah.
Yeah. Because some creators say keep the amount you're asking for as low as possible, because if you become fully funded, then Indiegogo has a tendency to, or their algorithm or their bots or whatever, have a tendency to heavily promote you more.
Yes. That's what we've heard as well. So that's also part of the why we shoot it so low, because when you reach your funding level at 100%, with only $500, I mean, you get to, higher numbers. All of a sudden it's, 600%, 1,000%. And so that's supposed to make you more visible. But that's a risk, because you're getting funded at $500. If everybody wanted to just pull one massive troll one day and all you got was $500, I mean,
that's true too.
It costs you more to print than you're ever going to make off that, print and ship.
Oh wow, that's a very good point. Yeah.
So but you have to have a little bit of confidence, to do something like that. I wouldn't recommend it for anybody unless you know that you're going to make it. Or if you know that you're making this thing one way or another, whether you get money or not. Like that means you have bankroll, you have a way of actually doing this. If you could go draw out a loan, to get this thing resolved, then maybe you could consider it. But otherwise, yeah. But now if you go the other way, and if you set your funding goal at like $50,000, that can actually like depress someone that might want to back you, because they look at that and they just know, they're like, the chances of him getting to $50,000 are not good. So maybe I'll just hold off on saving the stuff. People want to see you win. They want to see you actually get your goal, become funded, and hopefully become successful.
Yeah, I'm amazed at some of the IGG projects that go unfunded and have very little backing behind them. And you look at the content, it looks pretty darn good, but they haven't developed a platform. They don't have like a business model.
That's the biggest thing. The biggest thing is the platform. If you don't have if you're unable to build and grow your platform, then you're probably unable to successfully bring in an audience to back your project, because it's the same attitude. The same reason you're able to build your channel is because people like you. They like hearing what you have to say, your point of view. Maybe you're charismatic or abrasive. So for the same reason people come in to subscribe and hear what you have to say is the same reason that hopefully they will come in there and back. I mean, plus talent. Hopefully you're a talented person, and but they're going to come in there and back you because they like you primarily. So,
yeah, Mr. K says Virgin variant plus bust plus T-shirt tier of Graveyard Shift is what I meant about the sketch.
Oh yeah, there's a virgin cover. Yep, that's everything without the bust is a sketch. So that it's not a sketch cover, just a sketch. So that'll be on I believe 6x, it says 6x9 paper, but the only paper size I could find was like I think it's like 7x10. So everyone gets like an extra inch. So there you go. And t-shirts are all mailed out, or the orders are all in, and the money's all been paid. So it's just a question of when Crypto Fashion starts delivering those. But hopefully you'll be getting your t-shirts around the time that your books are arriving.
When Crypto Fashion sends off stuff, do they send like tracking numbers and stuff like that?
I don't remember. I've only ordered from there a couple of times. So
Alrighty.
like I don't even have anything coming. So
Oh,
I probably should have ordered a couple of those gold shirts for myself. But
yeah, I was
I
gonna
mean, I got a couple, but I mean they're old now. So.
yeah, you and the wife can be twinsies.
Yeah.
It's number one says Coach may be McMahon, but Cecil sure ain't Carol Wayne. Look it up.
Carol Wayne.
Carol
I don't
Wayne.
know. I didn't watch enough Tonight Show to probably grab that.
Yeah. Crack Rock is responding to Mayfield. Jukes, exactly what I was trying to speak to. People just expect their campaign to take off if they're on EBS's channel, but it's not the case. Frega made 50K before anyone else helped. Passion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In regards to this campaign, yeah, but also, I mean, Dan was out here. You know, people, a lot of good word of mouth coming from Ethan's channel, coming from everybody's channel. A lot of people wanted to see Dan do well.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying is there's a network here. And, if people are out there talking well of you when you're not around, I mean, what more could you ask? I mean, that's great.
Yeah, don't you know it?
Mm-hmm.
I borrow ideas. Wait till you fulfill before blowing it on blow.
Yeah, that's a great rule of thumb.
Right? Hookers and blow after fulfillment. Yeah.
Yes. That's the thing too is, yeah, I mean, when you get the money, guys, rule of thumb, just hold on to that money. Don't use it except for the expenses that you're committed to. And then when that's taken care of and when your taxes are taken care of,
Oh, yeah, taxes.
then go ahead and get your hookers and blow.
I'm going the grittiest route.
Yeah, and try to keep most of your expenses within that year. So, we're about to launch Graveyard Shift Volume 3. So, we're going to try to get everybody paid. All the artists are definitely going to get paid out this year. Try to get the print files off this year. Like Print Ninja, they allow you to pay in advance. So even if you're not ready to print until, say, January of the following year, they will still let you pay in this year. So that way you can write it off for your taxes.
Nice.
So you want to get as much of this money off the books in the same year that your campaign is held.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you get taxed on it, and that's going to suck.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And even though I preach it, trust me, guys, I keep going into the next year and overlapping my funds like a dummy. But if you're smart and you have really good planning, do everything within 1 calendar year.
Do you anticipate being able to put Project Thunder on the 2020 taxes too?
Not in terms of like printing and delivery. Project Thunder will probably, that will be an overlap.
Oh, okay.
But Graveyard Shift Volume 3, yes, I'm very hopeful that everybody's going to be kicking it in gear and getting this stuff done. And I haven't figured out what ship date would be. I'd love to be shipping in November, but I'm not sure if that's going to be possible.
Wow, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pale Rider, welcome to Hail Hookahs. Let's see. I like Cecil because he's a dignified degenerate.
That's true.
Would anyone back my campaign to buy me booze? All right. I'm not discounting the network. It is 100% necessity. I'm speaking against trying to control the network. Pale Rider's asking for a friend. Leroy says Narwhal almost needs to be a regular at this point. Dude is so weird and funny.
Is that regarding Jack Show? I'm guessing.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's probably best to be bringing in guests in intervals. I think that kind of livens it up because if everybody's there at one get-go, You know,
Right.
it's like, okay, you know, the first hour goes by and everything's great, but then, you know, things may start drying up. So then you throw in a new ingredient. So like this last one, which I think went really well, it was on my channel if anyone hasn't seen it, but you know, we did like the first hour with just, you know, Jack Show people. Dan came in at midnight. Narwhal came in at like, I don't know, 2 a.m. Worked
Mhm.
out pretty well, I think. Everyone said it was a really good show. So,
Oh yeah, it
yeah.
worked out. It worked out well. Yeah.
But I'm hesitant to call anyone a regular other than the actual Jack people. So
Yeah.
and Ethan. So you know
Yeah.
that. So when it's the Jack show,
I
but
do.
other than that, everyone else is a guest, and you know it's fun.
I do hope Kelsey continues to return again.
I,
I
know
missed-
you're gonna say, I do hope Kelsey continues to not show. But all right, I'm gonna have to get because I do have to call tonight. And yeah, thanks for having me on here. I appreciate it. And thanks to everyone in chat, guys. Appreciate you guys. If you guys weren't out there supporting ComicsGate projects, you know, us creators would be having a really hard time. And you know, it's definitely appreciated from me and everyone else, everyone in my circle. You know, I know they're very grateful for all of this.
Would you mind squeezing in real quick how people can reach you? YouTube, Twitter, anything?
Sure, you can find me on YouTube under John Malin. And Twitter at John Malin. Really simple.
All right, awesome, straightforward and to the point. And then you got your Jack show as well as your regular channel.
Yeah, well, Jack Show is on my channel about once a month. We rotate between all the members. That's John, Anna, Cecil, Kelsey. So each of us hosts a different week.
All right.
In that order.
Yep. And I know you have to get going, so I'll finish the rest of the.
All right, great. Yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. And I'll talk to all you guys later.
All right. Hoping to get a chance to have you on again in the future.
Sure, yeah. And Flat Earth is real. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Take it easy, man.
Bye.
Wow, that was the official coach, John Malin. I wanted to finish reading your messages before we close out this stream. Sorry it was taking so long to catch up. Still trying to get the groove here. So I don't know about you. I had a blast having them. Norin Rad 2 Turbo, welcome. Looking forward to diving into Graveyard Shift when Volume 3 launches. Just the first 2 books. Yeah, I came in on it late myself. I don't even think I got in on time for. Well, actually, I think I did get Graveyard Shift too, but I think I missed the first one. I have to go check out my CG books. Froggo says, Dan's just a lovable dude. It's hard not to support him. I totally agree. Dan is so chill. And, you know, he and I share mutual love of pork products. Justin McClure, Narwhal is a shit. he is quite a trip. He's a Mr. K, the poopy freak. Oh man, that was wild, wasn't it? I mean, just listening to, just being there live on the stream and listening to him recount the stories. It's like a not a slow motion train wreck, but something in slow motion, but pretty damn funny. I remember cracking up so bad. Froggo says, I'm a lifelong fan of Narwhal. Back anything he puts out. Yeah, he puts out some good stuff too. Kelsey isn't even a regular LOL. That's a fact, isn't it? Oh my gosh, he's been absent so many times, and you know his little videos basically say he's busy working, so his head's to the grindstone. His nose is to the grindstone, working on these projects for. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the Brett Weiser's company called? Is it Allegiance Arts? Because I think the other guy has alternate comics. I think it's Allegiance Arts that's owned by the Brett Weisers, who are putting out their books through Walmart as a distributor. Speaking of which, I have yet to find a Walmart that carries those books. I check out my local ones, but none of them have the display with those comics. But if you go to Walmart.com, as I understand, they're supposed to have some kind of location finder or whatever, so you can look for your closest Walmart that carries it. It might also have the ability to order from Walmart.com itself. I think you can order online, and that might be the way I have to go. Fate Salvation. I like Dan. He seems like a good dude. Yep. Frogo says, I've been watching Narwhal vids since he had like me and one other in his chats. Lol, he's always been himself. Yeah, definitely. Let's see here. Pale Rider, Dan Solid. Yep. Mayfield Jukes. Narwhal's a genuine guy. Talented too. Damn straight. Leroy, good job. Mayfield Jukes. Cheers, John. Frogo says, Pale Rider, booze, fun. Let's go. Fade Salvation. Narwhal's a nice dude as well. Yep. He strikes me as like happy-go-lucky. Nice. Pale Rider. Hell yeah, Frogo. Mayfield says, I don't believe in flat earth, but I believe in John Mayfield. Yeah, same. Yeah, I don't know how to justify flat earth. I mean, I guess in order to do so, you have to assume that all the space shuttle and satellite photos are doctored or photoshopped, and the picture of a round Earth is simply a 2D image. Let's see here. Wait, what? It's number 1. Congrats on 100+ subs. Are you serious? Are you serious? Let me refresh this. Holy frick. 108 subs. Thank you, guys. Holy moly. Oh, man. Last I checked, I was around 89 or 91. Oh, my gosh. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so honored. Pale Rider, they put those displays up at random spots. My Walmart has moved it twice. Yeah, first reports I saw, I think they were putting it in the toy section. I'm guessing they're just doing it for test reasons to see what draws the most attention, where people are more likely to expect to see comic books. And then they were talking about moving it to the book section, books and magazines. So I literally went to my closest Walmart and checked both areas thoroughly, 3 or 4 times literally. Books, stationery, greeting cards, magazines. I also checked toys, all the toy styles, even as it transitioned into sports gear. And then another Walmart location, they have their books and magazines set up in this chunk of space, like smack dab in the middle of the checkout lanes. So if you got this line of checkout lanes, lane, somewhere in the middle there's a boxed in area that has nothing but the books and magazines. And I checked there and I didn't have any luck finding it there either. So yeah, I'm probably going to check it out online because I took too long to make up my mind, and in retrospect, I want to check out Nora Saga because I want to support Kelsey and all that good stuff. Pale Rider says, we're going to keep you here all day long. Just type it away. Prog. if you guys are interested, at 7 o'clock Eastern, which is about an hour and 9 minutes from now, I'm going to have another guest on. We're going to be promoting Mortal Worlds. So that's going to be the next book. We started promoting Mortal Worlds in the previous stream, but I kept going off on all these tangents and talked about other types of pop culture. And we went into, I spent a lot of time on BBC, British Broadcasting Channel, British comedy, because I grew up on that too. So I went off on a lot of tangents. So it was like, I think more entertainment than promotion of the book. I mean, we did cover some of it, but I wanted to do a part 2 on it. Trying to do it some justice. Let's see here. Hell yeah. He is. Yeah, I'm not opposed to, as long as I have the time, I'm not opposed to doing long streams. You may recall one of my earliest long streams was Christmas of 2019. I did this crazy long stream, and I was kind of back and forth to the camera, and I had like the Yule log burning in the background, and I had music that I thought was copyright claim free and royalty free, because it was music I pulled up from YouTube while doing YouTube searches for royalty-free music. So I wrongly assumed and didn't do enough research. And what was technically an 11-hour stream got chopped down to, I think, a 4-hour stream, because YouTube is claiming that, or the so-called owners of the music that was playing in the background claim like 7 hours worth of my content. So if you can even still see it, which I don't remember if you can or not. I can see it on my end, but that might be because I was the one who streamed it. If you can find it, it's a Merry Xmas or Merry Streammas. And literally, it was technically 11 hours long. But only about 4 of it remained after the copyright people came after me. Yay. Oh yeah, I know. Seriously, we gotta do 100 sub-party stream. Hell yeah. Cheat, clapping, applause. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mayfield says, great show, WyzGyz. I'm subbed with alerts on. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I'm honored. Dale Ryder, in an hour I'll be good and drunk, so you might not want to read all of my comments. No worries, I won't take it personally at all. I try to read all comments, sometimes based on if it's just really short clips and stuff that are more in-chat conversations between people in chat. I might just display them on screen so it at least gets coverage, even if I don't necessarily read it aloud. But I try to read aloud everything because you guys are freaking funny, and I love to laugh. Yeah, let's see here. I think I'm finally caught up. Oh yeah, hey, yeah, hey, yeah. So let's see here. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? Let me stop sharing this one, and then all right. I was looking closer at that little icon that Mayfield was sharing. A clinking of 2 beer glasses, it looks like. Sweet. Beer, beer, wine, wine, unless it's champagne. Yeah, I can't say it enough. Definitely make sure you're on the Graveyard Shift Volume 3 graphic novel mailing list. I am on it already. When you sign up, you'll get an exclusive Graveyard Shift foil trading card. Believe it or not, with all the stuff that we covered in the stream, I actually had more questions I wanted to run by John, but because of all the various tangents I went on, I didn't have time to squeeze it in. But it happens. Let's see, so 5, 6. I've got an hour before the next stream. Is anyone interested in hopping on real quick? I can share the, just to shoot the shit. I can share the link with the chat. There's no emoji for vodka. Hey, you know what? Why don't we do this? Boom shakalaka. Yeah, so if anyone is interested in kicking it for a few minutes, maybe I'll go about half an hour more, and then end this stream, and then prepare for my stream covering Mortal Worlds. Yeah, definitely feel free. Yeah, John Malin's awesome. I try to reach out to people like Ethan and Cecil. I know Ethan's probably way too big to even notice a little guy like me. So I'm not surprised. I was hoping I could grab Cecil's attention, but I think when I messaged him, he might have already started his vacation. But what I really want to do is promote Cash Grab, because he doesn't seem to be promoting it. It's like Ethan did a lot of shilling for him. Anna pimped him out. But in all fairness, Cecil did go on several other channels to promote his book. But I was kind of expecting something more substantial, some more hardcore promotion. I know it wasn't expecting the success he gained from it, but I think Cash Grab could be so much more, and that we could hit some more stretch goals if he promoted it more. More so than just replaying that little clip from the critic that says, "Buy my book, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book." Let's see. Bill says, "One day I'll have to get my StreamYard set up so I can make a fool of myself live and in color. Good stream. I'll be back." Just so you know, for anyone interested, well, let me see. See, I'm still trying to figure out certain things, and I think I believe Stream Labs is related to Stream Yards. But if you have a smartphone and you open up your browser and then you visit StreamYards.com, log in, or if I shared with you a link, an invite link to your Twitter DM, then you should be able to actually join in from your cell phone. Hey, Fade, welcome.
Hey,
Faith says I'll come on in a minute. You get on.
hold on. There we go.
I'm driving the kids to their moms at the moment. Uh, Neil Lennon 67. How's it going, Specky? So you're from Twitch. Nice. Scottish Melee says, hey, also from Twitch. You are a fat, specky wanker? Okay. Fat, specky wanker. Get your... Okay, then.
Yeah.
All right, then. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, how have you been, Faith?
Good. I had a near inception moment when StreamYards and YouTube were both
Oh, really?
Yeah. It
Oh,
was pretty funny. I was getting audio from the YouTube and StreamYard, so it's like, oh.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I intentionally always open up. A YouTube window of the chat I'm in because I want to keep an eye on it from time to time and make sure that YouTube doesn't false flag me and basically end my stream prematurely with a false flag. And if I forget to mute myself, then I'll get that double audio. So what else is going on with you? What's new with you?
Nothing really. I was just away yesterday, and right now I'm just kind of relaxing.
All right. What's the weather like in your area?
Sunny and hot.
Yeah, it's quite nice outside right now. It rained yesterday, but doing okay. Yep. Yeah, so what do you think of John Malin's suggestions and advice for promoting a book and having a Indiegogo campaign?
I think it's pretty interesting. Just because, well, like you said, Kickstarter was notorious for not letting people on because of their beliefs or whatever. But now that that lady's gone, it does kind of open a door on that, but we'll have to see more on that in the future.
Yeah. I personally think Kickstarter is really hurting now.
Yeah.
They did that whole deal where I guess they effectively became kind of like a not-for-profit organization.
They became more almost like a publishing rather than a platform, I guess. That's what you're meaning?
Well, where they were like more of a charity instead of let's see, what's the other term? Well, instead of a commerce type of site.
Yeah, well, I know from a little bit of research, I think Kickstarter was founded by a group of gamers, I think. Hold on, let me double check before I say yeah, definitely. Hold on. So how are you doing, wise guy, anyway?
Pretty good. I'm just trying to adapt to the weirdest of schedules. I have a tendency to be assigned work hours at my my main job that's in the evenings.
Mm.
So my mornings are usually open, which kind of works out because so many YouTubers that are promoting are broadcasting in the evening, and so it kind of gives me a little less competition, but I garner a different audience.
Yeah.
I get a lot of the UK, and let's see. I'm not sure if I get Australia, but I tend to get a lot of UK visitors, which is pretty cool. And then most of my viewership occurs on replay after I've already finished streaming and all that good stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah. So one of my bad habits is I'll work, right? I'll work in the evening.
Mhm.
Then when I get home, I might be tired from work. But I'll often still go find something to eat and or drink. And then for my entertainment, since I don't watch TV anymore, I haven't watched TV in actively, consistently in 10 years. I kind of rely on YouTube and Twitter as my entertainment. So I watch my favorite streamers on replay in many cases. Sometimes I catch them live still. But so I'll be eating, drinking, watching my favorite streamers cracking up. And then, you know how some of our mutually favorite streamers, they will do 3 to 6 hour streams. So I'm starting to go into the following morning. I'm still awake. I've eaten a big meal, which is usually a no-no because you're not supposed to eat heavy meals so soon before going to bed.
Yeah.
And then, last night, I guess I didn't literally go to bed or lay down until 4 or 5 in the morning.
Oof.
And then I finally decided I need to squeeze in some sleep here before my stream with John Malin.
Yeah.
And then I go, and then I wake up a few times, and then I conk out and don't wake up until 12:30 in the afternoon.
Well, I'm pretty much the same right now. Right now, I'm kind of helping a friend out watching their farm animals. So early in the morning, I gotta get up and go feed them, give them water and stuff like that. So I end up sleeping 4 hours, then get up for an hour, and then sleep another 6 hours.
Oh, so you're really taking care of them. It's not one
Yeah.
of those things where your friend set up a video camera of them in the backyard and you just watch them every now and then.
No, I have to go down there, actually feed them, water them, and give them water, and
What kind of animals are there? Are they farm animals?
oh yeah,
What, like cows and chickens and pigs?
pigs and chickens.
Huh. Are you also responsible for getting eggs from the hen house?
Oh yeah, I get free eggs for at least this week, so
Oh, is that how you're being paid for your services in eggs?
no, I'm probably gonna get paid with some cash, but I also get free eggs out of it, so
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but traditionally, when you have chickens laying eggs
Mhm.
that are ultimately used for consumption by humans,
Mhm.
they're usually a wide range of colors, right? As opposed to all white.
Yeah,
Like
they
brown.
actually are.
What is
They're
the
like
most common color of hen eggs?
I would say probably white, but it does range from different colors too, so.
Maybe, excuse me. Mayfield says, I love farmers and ranchers. they help you eat it. Yeah, ain't that the truth? Yeah.
Yep.
Did you guys catch Dan Fraga's stream where I guess it was one of the stretch goals of his Black Flag campaign, and it was like a meat apocalypse where he just got a selection of he picked up a selection of pork products, and then he cooked them live on stream and ate it. Do you remember that, or did you see it?
I did not, unfortunately.
It was pretty cool. He literally went out, displayed all the different foods he picked up or his wife bought. They found at the store they went to, and then he took some time to talk about how to cook them and how they differ in flavor and all that stuff. It was neat.
It is interesting.
I was hoping to participate in the meat apocalypse thing and also have my own share of pork products to eat. I thought he was going to spend most of the stream eating rather than so much watching us watching the cooking phase. But it was it was a neat way to do it. You got to check it out. Mayfield says, I've had chicken who laid blue eggs. Trying to remember if that was the Wheatons or Wyandottes. Oh, those are different. Is it classes or species of chicken? Or like families of chicken?
I don't know on that. That's interesting, though.
Let me see here. Named both my Wheatons Will. They were girls, regular layers. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to raising chickens, you definitely want good layers.
Yeah.
So you get as many as you can. Now, Fade and Mayfield, you guys will probably you guys can probably speak to this. Isn't it true that the different color eggs, more or less organic eggs because you're getting them straight from the hen, don't they have a different flavor than the eggs you buy from the supermarket?
Not really, no.
Oh, really? I thought they, especially the yolk portion, had like a richer taste to it.
I haven't noticed a difference concerning. I have been eating them for a couple days now.
Oh, there we go. That's the term I was looking for. Breeds. There are two different breeds of chickens.
Yeah.
Wheatons and Wyandottes or Wyandottes. Wyandottes. I think it's Wyandottes. Okay, breeds. Justin McClure, welcome. Poke. Poking Mayfield. Right on. Sorry about that, J Money. Mayfield says our free-range chicken eggs taste way better than store-bought. That's what I've heard too.
I'll have to. Gone.
And if I remember correctly, most of the time they're also bigger in size. Like in supermarkets, I tend to get, what is it called, large AA, or at least when I was in California, we used to get AA. In Ohio, I think the most popular size is A. I think they call it large A instead of double A. I don't know. Maybe it's just a naming convention that
Yeah,
different.
I'm gonna have to try a store egg with the one of the eggs that I have to actually like a side by side comparison, taste.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Hey, you should do a stream with it where you do your side by side comparison. Yeah, there's an idea. Yeah, I don't know if you caught it, but I did this stream where basically I bought all kinds of different hot sauces, and was doing something similar. Well, something along the lines of that YouTube and Snapchat series Hot Ones. Are you familiar with that?
I am not.
All right, so the premise is you've got this host. He interviews celebrities, and in front of them are a row of chicken wings or whatever, or drumsticks, or drumettes rather, wingettes and drumettes, and they've got a row of hot sauces, and each one gets progressively hotter as you go along. And the idea is to try and get through the interview and thus through all the hottest chicken wings. And you've got different options to try and cool off your palate, like water, milk. I think they also have like oat milk, almond milk, ice, But you're interviewing celebrities, and, they even had people like Gordon Ramsay on it. He's a chef. Popular chef, and he's got his own TV series, 2 or 3 series actually. So I did a stream where I was eating chicken nuggets though. I was using panko breaded chicken nuggets, and I cooked them in my air fryer. And I had, let me see, 5, roughly 25 different hot sauces. And so I tried every single one on its own nugget. And by the end of the stream, I had tried every one of my hot sauces, and I ate about 40 nuggets in that one stream.
Dang.
So, yeah, Mayfield says part of the key is access to more than just feed. They need grass, grain, and bugs. Then the yolks get super golden or yellow and taste great, as well as being more nutritional. Yeah, and speaking of bugs, they're full of protein.
Yeah.
So that's why if you're ever like in the wilderness or you're stranded in the forest or something, eating bugs is supposed to be a way to boost your nutrition, especially if you're sucky at hunting or fishing.
Considering.
Froggo is back. I like eating free range human. Ay.
Hey, wait a minute. Oh, wait, no, I'm safe.
Yeah, you're a gigantic mecha Godzilla.
Yeah, I'm a robot, so I'm good.
Yeah. Man, I don't know about this Froggo. But then if you offer to save the last piece of George for me, then we'll call it even. Free range human. My goodness. You'd think Froggo was a Vespis. Mayfield says size tends to be relative to breed too, but of course there's variance with individuals of the same breed. That makes sense. Something that I don't think I've tried that I like to is ostrich egg.
Yeah.
Those suckers are huge.
Yeah, they are.
But I'm curious as to the flavor. Mayfield Extreme. Yeah. Oh, here's something funny. So I work in like retail and in the restaurant business, and we had an opportunity when the whole COVID-19 stupidity kicked in and got real bad, and they were starting to do all this self quarantine. You know, restaurants were kind of in a bind because they had what am I trying to say? They had all this food because the governors of states were telling restaurants they had to cut out all dine-in options. So all you could do is like curbside pickup and blah, 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 curbside pickup and delivery and pickup. And so we had an opportunity to buy some known foods that were perishable that they knew they couldn't possibly sell in time before they expired. So I ended up buying lucky enough, I actually barely had the room for it, but I bought a whole box, a case of eggs. And how many eggs do you think were in there?
I'm gonna guess the usual 18 usually what they come in.
No, 30 dozen eggs.
Damn.
I'm still going through this too. 30 dozen eggs. Mayfield says, Froggo, I'm a free-range human, lol. Ostrich jerky is good. Now, I don't think I've ever tried that. I
haven't either.
I thoroughly love beef jerky, but I don't think I've tried ostrich jerky. Something I have tried, though, is elk burger. You know, not deer, but elk. And not cow beef. But I did one of those food challenges where you go to a restaurant and you have to eat a certain amount by the time within a certain time, and you have the chance to get a photo of yourself posted or something like that. You know, every restaurant has their own contest. But I ended up choosing elk burger. It was pretty tasty. Elk is much leaner, so there's less fat throughout the day. If you imagine elk in the wild, they're, you know, more or less much like deer. So they have lean figures, lean bodies, and they're constantly running. I guess mostly because they're prey. So they're running for their lives. So you don't have like marbling or, you know, marbled fat throughout the meat to the extent that beef does. You know, cows being more sedentary. And so it was pretty good. I completed the challenge with a little time to spare. Actually, to be honest, I don't think they even had a time limit at that restaurant, which was good. Anyway, yeah, so elk burger is tasty. I think I've had ostrich burger too, but I can't remember how.
That would be interesting.
Mayfield says, I hear they're good, but I've never tried an ostrich egg either. I miss emu, though. Emu is delicious. Now, I don't think I've ever had emu. Let's see. The meat, don't know about emu eggs. Yeah, me either. New goal, try some ostrich jerky. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely got to try that. Let me see something. All right, good. Still live. I like when I don't get false flag.
Yeah.
uh, yeah, let's see here. Malin launching today. Actually, Graveyard Shift 3 actually is still in. Oh man, still in sign up mode. Mailing list. Let me see. Am I still sharing it? No, I'm not.
Oh.
Let me
I'll
bring
put it
that.
on for you.
Oops, wrong one. Hello. uh, jump back here.
Okay, I posted the link in chat for you.
Appreciate it. Doop doop. Oh, there's a. All right. Well, hold on. All right. I wanted to share the Indiegogo again. Yeah. So, what if the Universal monsters were the X-Men? Murdered scientists, forced into their own experiments, become the graveyard shift. Join us for Volume 3 as we shift into a new gear of high-octane, undead action featuring the return of vampire Vladimir Blood, Lilith, the bride, Mayhew, Mick, the monster Mayhew, Sarah, Monster Girl, Harker, and more. Yeah. Creators John Malin and Mark Polton introduced new characters to shape the series for years to come. And so you'll want to definitely sign up for the exclusive, you'll want to sign up for the mailing list.
Mhm.
John Malin, probably in the streams he's on, including his own channel, is probably going to announce when it officially launches. But right now, it's still the mailing list sign up. So definitely sign up. And Fade Salvation has shared the link to the project.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to back when he releases all 3 books because I haven't gotten all 3 of them yet.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Tor Strain says thanks. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Let me test out this link myself. Cool. Looks like it's working fine.
Okay.
Yeah, when from StreamYard, whenever I see you share a link,
Mhm.
it just looks like regular text,
Yeah, I get the same thing
hyperlink
too.
or anything. So I was curious and wanted to check out the. I wanted to check it out from the YouTube observer perspective and confirm that it was a workable hyperlink, and it is. So that's sweet. All right.
I usually, when I'm on here, I usually have my computer on and then I have my phone next to me so that way I can, if I need to put a link or something, I have it next to me and I can just type it in there or copy and paste it.
Right on. That's a good way to do it. That's a good way to do it. Ah, man. Good stuff. That was so fun.
Yeah, it looked like it.
And definitely an honor to have the coach. Uh, I think I mentioned it earlier, but believe it or not, I actually did have more questions to ask him.
Well,
So,
hopefully next time when
yeah,
you have him on here, you can ask him those questions.
yeah, I'd like to have him on again for sure. Let me see. Oops, not responding. All right. So let's see. It's 6:30 now. I'm
Okay.
going to close up this stream. Thank you all for joining me. Hey, Fade Salvation, thanks for coming on live.
Not a problem.
Please tell everyone how they can reach you.
You can follow me at Fade Salvation over on Twitter. It's all just one word, so thanks for having me on, and I'll catch you guys later.
Don't you also have a YouTube channel?
Nothing in the works yet. I'm still trying to figure that out, but right now it's just link changed, so if you guys want to follow that too, just type in Fade Salvation. Well, space the Fade Salvation, but
And it'll be identifiable by the Mechagodzilla icon, right?
Yep.
Fantastic. Sweet. All right. So you can reach me on Twitter at WyzGyz Tweets. Let me double check something too. Excuse me. Let's see here. Thanks, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Froggo sends a heart frog. Best to you, Froggo Funding. Just so y'all know, in about less than half an hour, I'll be on live again promoting the book Mortal Worlds. So looking forward to that. Let me verify something else. All right, cool. So everyone's welcome to hop back on there. It'll be like 28 minutes from now. I'm just going to prepare for that stream next. And so, yeah, WyzGyz Tweets for that. And then, let me see here. I wanted to check something else out. You'll find me you'll find me on YouTube under WyzGyz Entertainment, and you'll find me on Twitch under either WyzGyz Entertainment or WyzGyz Twitches. So yeah, check me out, and really look forward to sharing more content with y'all. Thanks for all your support. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. Excuse me. And also, when you mark the bell for notifications, mark it so that you receive all notifications, not just suggested notifications, because YouTube is crazy as all get out, and it doesn't seem to be really using notifications much at all, at least for the small creators. All right. Froggo says, have a good one, Mayfield. Mayfield says, you bet, family time starting shortly. Right on. I'm a huge proponent of family time. Keep it up. My kiddos are getting so huge. Oh, yeah.
see ya, Mayfield.
Yeah, you can blink and your kids will be adults. And it's like, damn, where did the time go? So, yeah, take every opportunity you can to love and be with your family, and love you all. Thank you all for your support, and we are ending the broadcast in 3, 2, 1. Bye.
Bye.